A field full of big-name drivers has put in a full day's work already. Practice began at 8 local time this morning, all pointing toward the moment just a short while from now when the green flag waves and these 43 drivers begin the hunt for the checkered flag. Certainly the lead story for the day is one man, Kyle Busch, who can set yet another all-time series record tonight. The 25-year-old Las Vegas native has won 10 times in 20 tries already this season. An 11th win would break a tie he shares with one of this sport's all-time greats, Sam Ard, for most wins in a single season. Kyle starts second. How's he feel about his chances, Dr. Jerry Punch?
Alan, it's just remarkable. Every time this guy climbs through the window net of a NASCAR Nationwide Series car, he's either setting a record or extending a record that he already owns, which he could do here tonight. And Kyle, though, it's hard to believe that neither you nor Joe Gibbs Racing has ever won a nationwide race here. Why?
Bad luck. That'll be it. You know, in 2008, I remember we were leading this thing and driving away, had a convincing car, Dave Rogers. I was into 20 that day. And broke a right front A-frame with about, 20 laps to go and got in a fence. And then last year, we had a strong car, but wasn't as good as Kevin Harvick was. Harvick just flat out beat us. So, hopefully this year it's a little bit different. The NOS Energy Drink Camry was good today in practice. I felt pretty good about it. So, I'm hoping that it's strong enough to where we can contend and be there all night. And hopefully at the end of the 200 miles, 300 miles, whatever it is. I don't even know what I'm racing tonight.
300 tonight.
All right, well, 300, that I'll be there for it.
All right, this place is known for being very fast and very slippery. So how aggressive can even you afford to be here tonight?
You could be pretty aggressive. It depends on how aggressive you want to be, though. You can really blow the tires off of it in about 15 laps if you wanted to. So, you got to be conscious of that and kind of work your way through traffic if you have some, and lap traffic and all that. But make sure that, you keep your car in one piece, you keep the tires under you, and you go the long distance.
Hey, good luck to you.
You got it. Thanks.
Well, Alan, if he does pick up an elusive first nationwide winner tonight, he will set yet another record here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Could become the most wins in a single season record holder, Doc. Thank you much. And given how strong Kyle Busch and the Joe Gibbs Racing team have been on the mile-and-a-half tracks like Atlanta on the circuit, hard to believe they are over Atlanta in nationwide competition. Of the 5 tracks the Gibbs Group has never won on, only 2 are oval tracks here in Vegas. Busch and teammate Joey Logano hope to take Atlanta off that list tonight. The lights are on at the track. The lights are on inside the ESPN pit studio, where we're ready for a Labor Day weekend of lightning-fast racing. Alan Bestwick with 2-time Atlanta winner Rusty Wallace and the tallest man in the garage, NASCAR team owner Big Brad Daugherty. We're in Atlanta. That means think fast, but fast can be fun at this place.
Oh, it really can be. Things happen so fast here, it's unreal, and opportunities happen really fast, and when they do, you got to strike fast.
Yeah, the thing that I've always noticed is how fast the tire speeds fall off at this racetrack. The tire speeds will fall off almost 3 seconds during a full fuel run. So it's interesting trying to keep up with the speed of the racetrack.
Crew chief's got to think fast on his strategy calls. Kyle Busch, you saw the numbers on his season. You saw the numbers on his nationwide record here in Atlanta. Really hard to believe he hasn't won here yet. Will he or won't he win tonight, and why?
He's come very close. He will win tonight simply because he is so confident. He's running so well. He's the best driver in the best equipment. That equals a win here tonight in Atlanta, Rusty.
Well, Brad, he can win. There's no doubt about that, but he hasn't won here before in the Joe Gibbs car. And if he is going to win, he's going to have to outrun Kevin Harvick. Harvick's been lightning fast. Yeah, really fast in all the practice sessions. Harvick's ready for this track. He won the last nationwide race here. He told me today, he said, I'm going to win this thing.
Well, Kyle is unquestionably talented. He's also unquestionably a lightning rod. Win, lose, or draw, Kyle Busch draws a reaction from fans, media, and lately his fellow drivers. That's Kyle in the yellow 18, passing Todd Bodine in the 30 for the lead of the NASCAR truck race last night at Kentucky Motor Speedway. The spin put Bodine on a fuel mileage strategy where he won the race, and then afterwards said this.
First person I got to thank is Kyle Busch for driving dirty, sucking me down, and getting me spun out to give us the gas. That's why we won the race.
Well, Kyle heard those comments and came to Victory Lane to have a word with Todd Bodine about his comments. Combined Bodine's comments last night with the driver's introduction thing from Brad Keselowski at Bristol. And it leads me to the question, are drivers beginning to react differently to Kyle, and why?
Well, if they do react to Kyle Allen, it's because he's winning so much. Notoriously, drivers don't like drivers that win a lot. Look, they're tired of them getting all the attention. They want some attention. That's probably the big problem they got with Kyle Busch right now. He's winning too much.
Yeah, he wins all the time. You're absolutely right, Rusty. And that does build up some jealousy and animosity. We see Kyle. He's a lightning rod in and out of the race car. He gets out of the car. He wears his emotions on his sleeves so the fans get an opportunity to jump on him. I don't think what he did last night was dirty driving at all. I don't think he's a dirty driver. But whenever he gets in that race car and closes that window net, he is the guy or the man to beat without question.
No doubt about that.
To be a successful race driver, you got to be a little bit selfish, too, behind the wheel.
Thick skin, baby.
All these guys are that way when they put that helmet on. Now, qualifying for this race was held about 4 hours ago, and it was a guy with a great record of success at this track in the Sprint Cup Series who was fastest, Casey Kane, making his final start of the season in that 38 car, whose sponsor is also sponsoring the race tonight, set the fastest time to win the Coors Light Pole Award. For his pre-race thoughts, we go to Jamie Little.
And for the first time, Casey Kane adds a pole in the Nationwide Series to your already very impressive resume here at Atlanta, Casey. So getting the pole in the Nationwide Series at Atlanta, how instrumental is that to getting to victory lane?
Not much, I don't think. I think, you know, it's nice to get the pole for Great Clips and Toyota and Braun Racing, but, you know, it's going to be a tough race. As the sun goes down, things are going to change. The track's going to change a lot. And hopefully we do the right things. Hopefully our car starts off really fast, and there's some guys up there we know we're going to have to race, so who knows what will happen.
All right, Casey Kane gets the first pole for the 38 team this year and the first for Toyota at Atlanta.
And a year ago, Kevin Harvick dominated this race, leading 131 laps en route to victory. And once again, a lot of eyes on you, expecting you to be a factor tonight. How would you assess your chances?
I think our Ream Chevrolet has been fairly good. It's really hard to tell in practice as far as where everybody's at on tires. We're able to run a lot of long runs. My theory is here, just get the car comfortable where I can run the same lap and see what happens after that. So you never know how it's all going to shake out, but it's been okay so far.
The car seemed awfully good right off the truck. You're at the top of the speed chart after final practice. What, if any, are your concerns tonight?
Well, I think just getting when it gets dark, just which direction the car takes as far as loose or tight. We've been a little bit tighter than we have been over the past couple of years, so we're just trying to decide how much we need to adjust and you know, just what happens after that, I don't know.
Kevin Harvick always seems to be very strong here in Atlanta. In fact, in his last 3 nationwide starts here, he's finished no worse than second, Alan.
And he lines up in 8th position tonight. Well, whichever driver wins, be it Harvick or someone else, they'll have really driven hard. They have to on this track because of a little NASCAR-mandated piece of metal under the hood. For more on that, we go to our Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer. Tim?
Thanks, AB. Here at Atlanta, it's all about horsepower, keeping momentum up. Historically, the Cup guys, they run this spacer. But here, we run a tapered spacer, reducing the power. Look at this area right here. Starts off really large, gets really small down at the bottom. So the trick is here, keep that throttle as wide open as you can possibly keep it for as long as you can keep it wide open. Drive it really hard, deep in the corners. Those tires are going to enable you to run it just about wide open around the racetrack. The more you can get to this horsepower down in this area right here, that's going to determine the speed at the end of the straightaway. Might give you an opportunity to win a race here in Atlanta.
Drive it hard. Keep that gas pedal down. Tim, thank you much. Monday night, catch a season-defining game for 2 top 10 teams as Kellen Moore leads the 3rd-ranked Boise State Broncos against Ryan Williams and the 10th-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies. It's the All-State Kickoff in the Capitol, part of Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week on ESPN Monday at 8 Eastern. College football available on TV, online, and on your phone. Go to ESPN.com for more information. So our NASCAR crew's in Atlanta for the weekend, and our college football game day crew is in Atlanta as well. We've had fun the last few years introducing some of our football folks to the thrill of 180 miles an hour. Big change from that Dancing with the Stars costume to a Nomex racing suit. But Thursday, Aaron Andrews went for a spin here at Atlanta with Dale Jarrett.
Just make sure your belts are...
Hey there, I'm Erin Andrews, sideline reporter and host for ESPN, and here we are at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm used to being on the sidelines of a football game, basketball game, or even on a baseball field. Never once before set foot here at a racetrack. And who better to show me around this track than NASCAR champion Dale Jarrett?
You can trust me.
All right.
I'm going to be in control, I think, here. So this is one of the fastest racetracks that these guys race on, so these cars are fun to drive here. So we're going to run 5 or 6 laps, probably somewhere in the 165, 70 mile per hour range. Ready to go.
Ready, here we come.
That's your side. You crawl in that window, I'm going to go in this one.
What do you mean I crawl in? What are you talking
There's
about?
no doors. They're welded shut.
Oh, cute. Thanks, guys. We got to get a picture of that. Is this right? I don't even know.
Yep, just put them in.
They're like Dukes of Hazzard. What are you doing?
Slide down in.
Why wouldn't I?
There you are.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Where am I holding on?
You can hold on to that roll bar.
Okay.
Yep.
white knuckles here.
Yeah.
What if I grab the steering wheel?
That would be a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Yeah, don't do that. You ready?
All right. Yes, sir.
Ready to ride?
I love it. Woo! Awesome. Okay. I'll let you do it. I loved it. It's great. Were you donuts? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I cannot thank you enough. That was amazing. I just have a newfound respect for what you guys do.
Ooh, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Forget football. I'm doing this now. No, I'm kidding. Theo, how fast did we go?
Got 170.
We went 185.
Well, first, he figured out the racer's line of always exaggerate your speed. But second, it's always nice for someone from another area of the sporting world to learn firsthand that these drivers indeed are athletes inside these race cars. Carl Edwards, someone to contend with tonight. He starts 5th. Roush Fenway Racing with 5 wins here in Atlanta in the Nationwide Series. No other teams got more than 2. Joey Logano, one of the Gibbs guys, he starts 10th. Keep an eye on Joey tonight. And how about local driver Reed Sorensen from Peachtree City just up the road? He starts 3rd when the green flag waves at the Atlanta Motor Speedway shortly. Labor Day weekend means NASCAR racing at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and ESPN's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series, a 300-miler from one of the sport's fastest tracks where we've seen fantastic finishes, fuel mileage dramas, and a pretty fair amount of exciting racing over the past 50 years. This is a race that's been dominated by the Cup drivers, and while the odds are it'll be a name you well know taking home the trophy, the unexpected does happen, and maybe there's an upset winner lurking somewhere in the field. Let's go trackside for the opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Lovejoy High School Air Force Junior ROTC Unit 911 present our nation's colors. Remain standing as Atlanta Motor Speedway track chaplain Bill Brannon offers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for this great country in which we live, that's defended by people like Lance Corporal Blake Rogers, who gave his life last week in Afghanistan for us. We thank you, Lord, for this great facility that we've enjoyed now for 50 years. We thank you for the men and the machines that have given us great memories. Lord, we ask that tonight and this weekend be the greatest racing weekend we've ever had here. Keep us safe in Jesus' name. Amen.
In honor of our troops, please place your right hand over your heart as the Song of Atlanta Show Chorus performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave,
Let's hear it for the Song of Atlanta Show Chorus for their performance of our national anthem, and a special thank you to the F-15.
Well, on Labor Day weekend with a lot of hard-working men and women in the grandstands ready to watch, it's time for the drivers to get settled in and do their job, which is to be the fastest to complete 300 miles tonight at this Atlanta Motor Speedway. The engines fire next.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Verizon. The signal is yours. Wield it to transmit anything you want. Verizon. And National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Drive drunk and you will be arrested. Drunk driving, over the limit, under arrest.
The Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of NASCAR's fastest tracks, where the NASCAR Nationwide Series is ready to run 300 very quick miles. The command to start engines just a moment away. Some storylines to follow throughout tonight's race. Kyle Busch going for another all-time series record, most wins in a season. But the Gibbs team is 0 for Atlanta in the Nationwide Series. To stop that, they'll have to get by Roush Fenway Racing, who's ruled the Atlanta Roost in this series. And whatever you do, don't go away, because this track's known for fantastic finishes. And we could see another one at the end of 300 miles. With Rusty Wallace and Brad Doherty, thoughts on those topics?
Well, I think there's going to be a wild race, no doubt about that. I talked to Goodyear today. They said this is the softest tire they've ever brought to the nationwide race. A lot softer than the last race here. I really think the changing grooves are going to change a lot. They're going to be in the bottom, the middle, the top. But, Brad, my biggest concern is starting in the day and end of the night, big chassis changes.
Absolutely, and you're talking about those tires. This racetrack, and I said earlier, you see a lot of speed fall off. Well, we're going to see the grip level come back up at this racetrack tonight as it cools off. Usually it's hot, slick, and greasy. It's going to be interesting. These crew chiefs are going to have to be up on that box in order to make the correct changes to give their guy a chance.
So watch for the driver's hands flying through the windshield, and watch for the crew chief's hands whipping those wrenches around, making adjustments as the race goes on. 5 former Nationwide Series winners in the field, and 3 gentlemen in the booth, including a former Atlanta winner ready to call the race for us tonight. Dale Jarrett, former Atlanta race winner, alongside Andy Petrie and Marty Reed. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Alan. Hello again, everybody. Let's talk a little bit more about our pole sitter, Kasey Kahne. He's had 6 prior starts this year, only 2 top 10s, 4 finishes 26th or worse. But, Andy, this is one of those cases where the stats really don't tell the tale.
Well, not really, because he's had great cars, winning cars, really. First race at Bristol, he was leading the race, had an overheating problem. Leading at Charlotte, had a problem with the battery or electrical problem. And then the big spectacular crash he had at Bristol, had a great car there. Really looked like he had the car that could win. So if his car will stay together and he can have some luck, I think he's the guy to beat tonight.
Let's talk about the fact that 9 out of the top 10 qualifiers, double-duty drivers. Let's focus in on the one that isn't.
Yeah, the one guy is Josh Wise, making his first start here at Atlanta. And in this 7 car, he's had 6 previous starts this year, average finish of 13.5. So he does really well in his opportunities. He has a lot of talent. I want to see if he can improve that average finish here tonight.
Okay, how about a dark horse? If there's somebody that you think could sneak in and steal the show.
Well, I'm going to throw a guy out there. It's a cup driver doing double duty. It's Paul Menard. Has not won in a while. This is one of his best tracks.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Reed Sorensen, local boy, starting 3rd tonight. Let's see what he can get done.
All right, well, it's time for us to get this show on the road. As you can see, everybody's ready, both on the grid and in the stands. Let's send it trackside for those words.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshals, Great Clips Vice President of Marketing Terry Miller, Great Clips franchisee Betsy Clinton, and Children's Miracle Network representative Jack Stapleton.
On behalf of Great Clips, our fabulous franchisees, and our wonderful 30,000 stylists, join us for racing's most famous words. Ready, Jack? Gentlemen, start your engine!
Mike, close to you, Lou. Keep it off that thing. Yeah, whatever. 4 or 5 wide, first 2 or 3 laps.
First little bit here, like it's down over the hill.
Thanks a lot.
Looking forward to it.
Did I scare you?
I will have fun.
You know I'm used to a complete lunatic up there, so Roman, you still got me?
Have fun with it.
Have a good run here.
You guys been working.
So the engines have fired on the 43 cars as we get ready to go racing here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And, of course, our in-race report, if you were with us just a little bit earlier, it is going to be Kyle Busch. And let's talk to him now, DJ.
Hey, Kyle, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Loud, clear.
Hey, Kyle, I'll start this with, since you haven't won at Atlanta yet in a nationwide car, Chip from Athens, Georgia asked, what makes Atlanta different from other mile-and-a-half tracks like Charlotte and Texas?
Basically the speed. You know, the speed's a lot different here. The grip level and just how much you can drive your car, how hard you can drive your car. You know, the tires fall off so bad here that really you get about 6 or 8 laps that are comfortable for you, and then you're just hanging on from there. So the guy who has the best handling car for the longest technically always wins.
Hey, Kyle, this is a question that I kind of want to know as a former driver. I know drivers are different as far as information they give to their crews. How much information that you give, are you just asking for specific changes, or are you letting them make most of the calls?
It's kind of both. You know, Jason and I got a great working relationship, as well as Dave and Eric. You know, we all do. So I kind of lend a little bit of my feedback here and there. You know, I'll tell them what the car's doing, kind of give them an idea of what I think will help it. And they'll either agree or they'll disagree, and we'll just kind of go with a change and an adjustment to try to make it better.
Okay, Kyle, thanks for talking with us. Good luck in trying to get that 11th win tonight. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe.
Hey, Jason, Andy Petrie in the booth. You have a copy?
I got you, Andy.
Hey, Jason, this track here has got a reputation for really chewing tires up. You've got a limited amount of tires at your disposal. How do you decide when you put these tires on and how you use them tonight?
Well, that's a good question. NASCAR gives us 6 sets when we start the weekend. Obviously, we burn 1 set in practice and set on the car. So we have 4 sitting in the pits. And this place, the lap times fall off so quick, so tires are huge. Every time the caution comes out, you'll be tempted to stop and put them on. But you just got to make sure that, you know, should you get a late race caution, that you've got a set of tires sitting here in the pits to put on. That's going to be your only chance to get the victory lane.
Okay, Jason, good luck with that tonight, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
And there is Kyle as he is waiting for official word to head out onto the track as engines continue to warm up here at the 1.5 mile oval at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Our over-the-wall reporter is going to be Mark Hollywood Armstrong, front tire changer for Stephen Wallace on the number 66. Hollywood, we know we got high speeds out on the track. How about high speeds in pit road?
Marty, it's very fast-paced down here. We know that week in and week out. But sometimes this race presents itself with a green flag pit stop. And it might not be the real fast pit stop that can take a team and go on and win the race, but it could be that fast one with a mistake that could take your driver completely out of it. So during that green flag stop, if we have one tonight, you just got to look for the teams that are nice and smooth, no problems, and don't have to come back to pit road. And when they do come back, they can come back and go to victory lane, guys.
All right, you be safe down there. Have fun. And as you can see, the cars are beginning to roll off pit road, which means just a couple of pace laps, and we're going to be going green here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking down from high above from the Goodyear blimp, and go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And as you can see, the cars out checking pit road speeds as they come by the start-finish line, the first of 2 pace laps here. Let's check our onboard cameras for you. Justin Allgaier in the upper left with the Verizon Wireless Dodge. We've already talked to Kyle Busch. Robert Richardson with the Nationwide Insurance Chevy. Kevin Harvick with the Rheem Chevrolet. Stephen Wallace, the 5-Hour Energy Toyota. Jamie McMurray with the Hellman Chevy. Trevor Bayne in the Aaron's Toyota. Mike Wallace, the Smoky Mountain Cheese Machine. And Wes Townley in the Zaxby-sponsored effort, the car that won last week at Montreal. Our pole winner, Kasey Kahne, his 8th career pole, but his first here at Atlanta. And as we take a look at the starting field across the top of your screen, it is the 4th time you'll notice in 2010 that Toyota has swept the top 3 spots. Only 1 car did not qualify. That was Jeremy Clements. We'll have 2 go to the rear. Jeff Green for an engine, Tony Raines for missing driver intros. Well, the drivers have multiple drivers have been in the number 16 this year. Mike Massaro, you've got the latest on who's in that hot seat tonight.
Yeah, and that would be Matt Kenseth. And for him to succeed, I think it's all a question of how quickly he can adapt to the situation. This is Matt Kenseth's 3rd Nationwide Series start of the year, and he'll be working with a crew chief he's never worked with before, that being Ricky Vyers. Vyers, however, has already learned many things about Kenseth, most of which are about the way he adapts to the race car. He knows exactly what he wants, and he knows the adjustments he wants during the course of the race, especially here in Atlanta. Kenseth is a 2-time winner here, including the last time he visited this racetrack back in 2008. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Mike. Nothing like a home game to get an athlete fired up, and such is the case for Reed Sorensen, who grew up just a stone's throw from Atlanta Motor Speedway in nearby Peachtree City, Georgia. Sorensen drove Legends cars here. He won over 80 times and won 3 track championships. Tonight he hopes the home track is magic again. He starts third there in that 32 car, trying to pick up his first nationwide win in over 3 years. Jamie Little.
Well, Doc, one of the most frequently used words today, tires, because they fall off so quickly, and because these teams are only given 6 sets for 2 practice sessions, qualifying and the race, a lot of these teams only have 3 sets of sticker tires. These are at a premium, but the 22 Brad Keselowski saved an extra set. That could be the difference between winning and losing tonight. Dave Burns?
Jamie, as the drivers come down the front straightaway, this is what greets them going into very fast turn number 1, direct sunlight. And believe me, they'll have both hands on the wheel. They won't be able to do this. They can't do this, or we're all in trouble. Jamie McMurray just radioed his crew and said it gets really bad at the start-finish line. He said it'll get even worse as the sun goes a little bit lower. And it's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, Marty, before the sun goes fully away.
Yeah, and we had a great shot of just how much that glare is going to go right into their eyes heading down into turn number 1. How about the track facts here at the 1.5 miles at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Well, tonight we're going to go 195 laps, just a click over 300 miles. Pit road speed is 45 miles an hour. Go faster than that, you're going to get busted. And we might see guys wanting tires a lot earlier than that 55 to 60 lap window. And the corners, 24 degrees on the banking. Cars in turn number 3 right now. Getting ready with this very good crowd for a nationwide Saturday night. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. Glad that you're spending part of it with us. We've got nationwide tonight, and of course Sprint Cup action again tomorrow night under the lights here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pole sitter Casey Kane brings him down. He's on the inside. Green flag waves. We're underway here at Atlanta. Great start by Casey Kane, but remember what he said early in the broadcast. If the car has adjustability, that'll be the key.
Yeah, I talked to his crew chief, Stuart Cooper, right after qualifying, and he said that they had expected the track to get looser, not tighter like you would think when the sun goes down. They had that experience last year. They're hoping to kind of build from that, what they learned last year, make this car better tonight.
Yeah, we saw Casey choose the inside. I think that maybe sometime before this evening's over, we'll see whoever has that choice after a caution. So we'll see Kyle Busch go to that high side, taking the lead now after that first lap. But I think we'll see the guys choose the outside lane.
Side by side through turn number 3. In third place, you can see that Carl Edwards right there as he's trying to sneak up, along with Reed Sorensen, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick. That's your top 5. And the leader of lap number 2 is still Casey Kane. But they're side by side again, and edging out in front is Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I really thought Kyle Busch was going to have Casey Kane cleared down in turn 3, but you can see Casey has that car working really well down on the inside.
It looked like Casey Kane's car was bottoming out really bad that first lap or so. Saw a lot of sparks, maybe the air pressure just being low, and the car wasn't really ready to make a charge. You see now it seems to be coming around.
That's what makes this racetrack so great. Drivers love it because you can do this type of racing literally for all 300 miles.
And again, at the end of lap number 3, that's still Casey Kane by about a nose in front of Kyle Busch.
Here comes Reed Sorensen back on the inside. Carl Edwards had taken that third spot away, but Sorensen coming back for that third spot now.
And right behind them, you see the number 1 Ryan Newman starting to put pressure on Kevin Harvick, and it looks like he may get around Harvick. On board with Kevin.
Talked to Kevin earlier. He was pretty excited about his race car. Of course, he had a dominant race car here last year. He felt like his car was just that good this time. But the one thing these guys don't understand, as we look into this sun, this is going to be a problem for these guys for a while. As you can see right there, if you could imagine being in the driver's seat going 190 miles an hour into turn 1, you can't see anything for about 100, 150 yards there. It makes it very difficult.
Down the back stretch, things calm down for a little bit. You see Harvick still on the low line. Newman has stayed up on that high side.
Yeah, and if you'll remember, Kevin Harvick won this race last year. He was about the only car that could really make his car work right on the bottom of the track. A lot of cars started moving up, and that's where the groove kind of goes here. But Kevin Harvick had a car that would stick right on the bottom. We'll see if he can do it tonight.
And generally, if you can stay on that bottom for a good time, then you're going to wear the tires more. You have to put a little more wheel input in it, and you're taking a little bit more of that grip away from those. But Kevin had a perfect setup, and you see him make another pass there for the 4th spot.
Let's go back a little deeper because we've got a lot of action going on there. There's Michael McDowell in the 81, the 05 of Willie Allen. He's coming off a great run back at Bristol with a career best finish. Stephen Wallace in the 66. Joe Nemechek, the former champ in this mix as well. On the right side, further up forward in the field, we'll keep you posted on both of them. That's Jamie McMurray in the 88 right there, trying to sneak in between Sorensen and Ryan Newman.
These cars practiced this morning about 8 o'clock, so the track was really cool. Like it'll probably be later in the race, but they've kind of had just about every condition to deal with today, you know, through qualifying, practice, and now the race.
And on the left side, all of a sudden, McDowell loses 3 spots pretty quickly.
And you can see how the high side of this racetrack works. With these tapered spacers, these Nationwide cars have to run. It's about momentum at this racetrack, and you can get a nice run through the middle and upper part of the track, make that pass down the straightaway.
Right behind those guys, you see the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. He's also out there in that mix. And John West Townley in the 09.
Yeah, we showed Stephen Wallace, who had not a good qualifying. Yeah, he was the first car to go out qualifying, and I think that hurt him some. But he's our biggest mover so far, moved up 13 spots already.
Boy, and McDowell just lost another couple of spots, so he is going backwards. There is Stephen Wallace. And he is running right now in 24th position. Back up front as the battle for the lead is still side by side between the 18 and the 38. And it looks like Kyle may finally clear him.
Oh, look at Casey's car. Yeah. It's just hanging out there, the rear end is.
You can't believe, you just see through that corner just to see how much is hung out. The left front tire was down on the yellow line. The left rear tire looked like it was about 3 feet from that.
These guys putting on a great show here early in our 195 lap event tonight. Kyle really takes it up high this time, seeing if that momentum line will work for him.
Well, it'll definitely work when he hits the straightaway. What Kasey Kahne needs to do is try to get clear of the 18 where he can take that line away.
Well, there's a lot of guys that like to get clear of Kyle, but they have a hard time doing it. Yeah. Car slowing down on the track there. That's Johnny Chapman as he's making his way in. We can tell you right now that Jeff Green is pulled behind the wall. Kevin Hamlin, Dennis Setzer, Kevin LePage, and now Johnny Chapman. So those
Casey's got a good run. Excuse me, Marty, right here on this particular corner. But gosh, look at that rear end hang out there. Man, he is sliding that car through the corner, but he makes the pass.
He gets to the center of the corner and it just takes off up the racetrack. I don't know why. It just doesn't continue to turn. Center exit.
Yeah, that's kind of the balance that you fight as a driver here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You want the car tight enough to get around, but if you get it too tight in the center of the corner, then you can't turn, get headed the other way, and that's why he's not having as much success.
Well, between those two up front, 7 combined NASCAR wins here at Atlanta, but neither's won in the Nationwide Series yet. Verizon Wireless customers text Champion to 43776 for exclusive Champion Chats content from our NASCAR Now Roundtable experts. Sun doesn't set here till 7:58 p.m. Eastern time, and that's what these guys have to deal with as you're on board with Justin Allgaier heading down into turn number 1. All right, let's go back. Well, during the commercial, the 11 of Brian Scott had to come into pit road for a tire change. Let's show you exactly what happened.
Yeah, we were talking about Kasey Kahne being loose. This is definitely out of control here.
Well, he's got something
It's like a tire down. Jamie?
Absolutely, guys. That's the call. It was a tire going down. The crew chief wasn't sure, so as soon as they came in, they went over the wall for 4. The problem is the pit crew went over the wall too soon. He has a drive-through penalty, guys. That's unfortunate. He qualified 30th and already moved up 8 positions before this incident.
Yeah, and he's down 2 laps and could be 3 before this is over.
Yeah, we just heard Mark Armstrong before the race started talk about these mistakes on green flag pit stops.
I talked to Brian earlier today, too, right before qualifying. He was talking about how good his car was in race trim. He wasn't sure how good it was going to be qualifying, and he obviously didn't, but this is going to hurt any chance he had of having a pretty good night.
Talked about Josh Wise as he's got the points leader, Brad Keselowski, coming up underneath him. Josh in the 7, the only non-double duty driver to qualify in the top 10. And Keselowski, of course, the points leader here with a very comfortable points margin. in the Drivers' Championship, but not so when it comes to the all-important owners' points.
Yeah, he's trying to hold on to that only non-double duty driver in the top 10. Brad's trying to make it an all Sprint Cup drivers kind of party up there in that top 10, but Josh doing a nice job here early on.
That is for 10th place on the track. We'll tell you, Kasey Kahne is leading by about a half a second up front as we continue to watch this battle. It's been Kahne and Kyle Busch, the two leaders that we've had in this race, with 2 lead changes. And all of a sudden, Josh pulls out a little bit of room, and here come the race leader into traffic.
Yeah, you can see right now the speeds have dropped way off from the beginning of the race. I mean, some 8 miles an hour since lap 5. And that's just what you see here. This track just chews the tires up and makes them fall off as far as speed. When we say tires fall off, it's really just the speed fall off that we're talking about.
Dave, you've got more?
Marty, on this 38 car for Kasey Kahne, very loose in practice. Stuart Cooper, the crew chief, told me he was going to tighten this race car up for Kasey before the qualifying laps. And right after he busted off that very quick qualifying lap, he radioed, "Boy, you tightened me up a lot." It was in the track a lot more than I expected. So I followed up with Stuart Cooper, the crew chief, to say, did you get him too tight? Will this car go way to the tight side at the start of this race? And he said, nope, I think we're going to be good. And so far, that car is staying fast underneath Kasey Kahne. Dr. Punch.
And back behind him, Kyle Busch, echoing what you just said, I cannot believe that 38 car has any rear tires left. He is sliding everywhere out here. How is he hanging on? He said, as far as I'm concerned, you heard him say before we went to commercial a minute ago, he's losing the car from the middle of the corner out. He's just abruptly sliding up across the racetrack. They're discussing on the radio right now about possibly taking a rubber out of the left rear and trying to figure out, that's Jason Ratcliffe there, trying to figure out what to do to be able to help his driver exit the corner without losing the nose of the car.
So as you can see right now, Kasey Kahne and Kyle Busch have opened up about a 5-second lead.
I'm telling you, this is scary what he's doing with that race car. It is out of control.
Yeah, I talked to Kasey before qualifying too, and he said that in practice, I was asking about tire wear. He said, yeah, we wore both rear tires out and had to quit practice. I think he's going to do that again.
Well, there you see the top 10 at the top of your screen after 23 laps. When we come back, we'll take you up to speed, get you set on everybody in that top 10 field, get the story details here at Atlanta. Kyle Busch and Kasey Kahne have sort of made it their private show here in the early going in the NASCAR Nationwide Series event from Atlanta, the Great Clips 300. And Kyle has a 1.6-second lead over Kasey now as those tires are starting to give up. And let's go back and show you exactly how it happened again, because we've had 3 total lead changes between these two.
Well, Kasey's car has just been extremely loose. I mean, since the drop of the flag, the back end of this car has been hung out. Finally, it's taken its toll on the rear tires.
Yeah, and that's fast for a while, but you can't, not at this racetrack, hang on to the car that long. And he literally has run the rear tires off of this car. He'll just have to hold on for these next 20 laps or so.
There's the top 5, but you got to go quite a distance to pick up 3rd place Jamie McMurray. In fact, 6 seconds behind Kasey Kahne. Let's take you up to speed. Dave Burns.
And Marty, he started in the 7th position, which it sort of feels like he's running back there as we pan way back to find Jamie McMurray in that 88 car. But he's moved his way up to 3rd, and then he radioed into his crew, hey, am I even catching the leaders at all? As if to give a nod to the changing lines of this racetrack. The answer back was, well, one lap you catch them, and the next lap you don't. Drivers using every inch of this racetrack to try to gain positions. Doc?
This is Carl Edwards' favorite racetrack. Why? Because he got his first ever nationwide and Sprint Cup win here on the same weekend back in March of 2005. Here's the better news. Carl has been told his car is very consistent now. Others are dropping off. He is not. The car feels good on the racetrack and not sliding. Now here's the bad news. Carl just said, I think the alternator just quit on the car. Jamie.
And right behind him, Kevin Harvick. If you walked up and down pit road today, most people would tell you they don't know what kind of car they have. Well, not the 33 team. They said they unloaded near perfect. They were so happy with the car in practice. And mind you, this is not the same car he won with 1 year ago. He's been quiet on the radio, just slowly charging up front. He's already gained 4 positions since the start of the race. Mike.
Ryan Newman's crew chief Nick Harrison said he began the weekend with a fairly typical intermediate setup. They started to experiment a little, though. They changed the front end settings, tried to do some things they did in Bristol, and suddenly the car came to life. So far during this first run, Ryan Newman quietly confident, hasn't said much over the radio. I spoke with Nick Harrison just moments ago. He says he feels real good about his race car early on, Dave.
Mike, you know how some teams circle a racetrack on the calendar and they say, hey, this is where we're going to something. Well, crew chief Matt Pusha circled Atlanta for Paul Menard this year as a must-change setup track. Last year, they had a debate about whether the track would loosen up or tighten up in the evening, and Matt actually won the debate because the track loosened up. But he said, we learned a lot about what to do to tune on this race car, and I circled this race and said, that's how we're coming there this year, and so far, they've been moving up in position since the start. Doc?
And back in 8th position, Joey Logano driving a brand new Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Joey right now complaining that the car is very, very tight. Kevin Kitson, we know what this track will do. As the race progresses, the track gets freer and freer, so we're going to start you tight. We know you're going to complain, but on the first pit stop, we will loosen you up ever so slightly. Mike.
Well, Doc, whenever you start a new relationship, typically there are some growing pains. Well, that remains to be seen whether or not there'll be those growing pains between crew chief Ricky Viers and driver Matt Kenseth tonight. Tonight is the first time they've worked together. Viers, though, says he reminds him an awful lot of Greg Biffle, a driver he's worked with a dozen times this year and had some success. They finished second twice, so Viers really leaning on what he learned through Biffle, comparing it to Kenseth's style. It seems to be working okay, but not perfectly yet. Kenseth saying the car is just a little bit tight, Doc.
Behind him, local boy driving the 32 car. We told you about Reed Sorensen, who grew up in Peachtree City, Georgia, about 8 miles from Atlanta Motor Speedway. They think tonight's the night. His last trip to Victory Lane will try 2007 at Gateway, a July race, over 3 years ago. He hasn't said anything on the radio, but they told him before the race, don't worry about what happens in the sunshine. We got to be good when the sun goes down. Jamie.
And Brad Keselowski in the 22 behind him, getting some pressure now. He was closer to the 32, but he's slowly falling off the car. Not up to his standards. You see him twitch a little bit there. He says he's free on exit, tight in the center. And this is a driver who loves a tight race car, so they definitely need to work on it as the sun goes down. But right now, he's hanging in there around the top 10, Mike.
Well, Jamie, if you ask Jason Leffler's crew chief, Eddie Pardue, how he feels about this racetrack, well, he'll be real honest with you. I asked him that this morning. He just smiled and said, well, we haven't had real good results here. And because of that, he feels like they had to work extra hard during practice to try to dial in this race car. He was able to draw some confidence from his driver, however. Leffler, on the other hand, really likes this racetrack, likes to work the different grooves. And he gave his crew chief some confidence by how hard he was able to attack the racetrack early on. So far, just a little bit loose for Leffler, looking for some grip, but optimistic once the sun goes down, guys.
All right, thank you for the up-to-speed gang, as we'll also check in on Josh Wise as he started in the top 10, but he has fallen back into the clutches of Ricky Stenhouse. Wise 13th, Stenhouse 14th. And for Stenhouse, what a turnaround. Remember his 5 DNFs in the first 12 starts of 2010? Well, he's had 0 in his last 10 races. That battle continues. Meanwhile, up front it is Kyle Busch, but the lap times have gone down. 33.4 was his last time around, and he just went around Stephen Wallace to put him a lap down, which means we now have 20 cars on the lead lap here at Atlanta. .42 laps before we had our first caution. There's the truck out there on the front stretch picking up the items. There were several spots where they've already stopped, and we've got our first round of pit stops under this first caution here at Atlanta. Let's send it to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And remember Kyle Busch talking about the nose sliding. He said the back end of the car began sliding a moment ago, so they decided to put some air in the left rear and take a rubber out of the left rear. Try to make an adjustment to get the car to grip. Now, the 60 car, Carl Edwards, remember he talked about an alternator issue? It may not be as bad as he said. They're going to get 4 tires on the car, and Carl said, do not clean the grill. Hey!
Bottom of your screen, Jamie McMurray, they're going to make a right front air pressure adjustment because that car is loose on compression. Your leader, Casey Kane, or actually second place, Casey Kane on pit road right now as well. They're going to make no adjustments to the car. They tugged a little bit on the left front valence as they put Sunoco fuel in as well, and he's going to drop a position on pit road.
As you can see on our Nationwide Insurance Race Off Pit Road, it was Jamie McMurray picking up a spot, but Reed Sorensen picks up 3. Ryan Newman drops 2. Kyle Busch, he's your leader, and he's led 1,500 laps now this year.
Move out of the way.
Back here as the sun sets at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch is our race leader, and he is going to take the outside. More on that. Let's first check in with Dave Burns.
And Marty, you guys were talking about how hard Casey was driving that car and how loose the 38 car was getting during that first run. Well, this is the right rear tire that came off of Kasey Kahne's car. And if the tire guys, when they look at the tires on top, what they want to see are some tread depth, and all the way across from the outside shoulder all the way in. There's still some depth there. This after 42 laps on the track, so pretty good tire wear so far.
Pace car has turned off. There you see Kyle alongside with Jamie McMurray. Kasey Kahne is in third. Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Paul Menard. That's your top 6. And you heard the call. We're back to green. Going to try 3 wide coming out of the corner. Here we go. That's Reed Sorensen along with Menard on the high side. There goes Ryan Newman.
Yeah, Newman's car was really fast in that first run. When the tires were new, you could see him bottom out just a little bit getting into turn 3. Sure, they made some adjustments there.
For a moment, looked like they were going to try 3 wide again. There's our first look at Jason Leffler alongside of Joey Logano, the 10 and the 20 respectively.
Oh, they'll try 3 wide again. You see these cars really bottoming out with the low air pressure, though. Plus, they're probably picking up a little bit of speed right now because it is starting to cool off here some.
A little bit further at the back of this pack, Trevor Bayne. He has had a streak of races. There he is in the 99.
Man, David Gilliland just about cut Clint Boyer off getting in that corner.
Clint did a nice job of giving him some room.
There you see Clint in the 21. Right alongside of Ricky Stenhouse. Now the view from Trevor Bayne's bumper.
Just see the 3 different grooves that you can take. Trevor Bayne here that we're riding along with, all the way up against the wall. Had a Ricky Stenhouse in the middle and Clint Boyer down the very bottom.
Yeah, you're talking about the speeds picking up. Kyle Busch, last lap, fastest lap of the race, 30.63.
We mentioned Trevor Bayne as now we move forward, and there is Jamie McMurray as he is running just ahead of Kasey Kahne, 0.7 of a second behind our race leader Kyle Busch.
Yeah, and Jamie McMurray was just as fast, if not faster, there towards the end of that run than what Kyle Busch was. He had just got about 7 seconds back, cut it down to about 6 seconds, so his car is really good. He told me before the race he really liked the way this car felt. It was the best car that he had been in since he had started driving this 88 car.
Yeah, we saw Dave talk about the rear tires on Kasey Kahne's car. I got to say, Goodyear's doing a good job with the tire here if those rear tires are staying on there, because Casey's car was sideways that first run.
One thing we didn't get in right before we went back to green flag racing, Justin Allgaier got the lucky dog, and that gave us 20 cars, as we said, on the lead lap. There's Trevor Bayne. And here we go 3 wide again, and all of a sudden Josh Wise, who started in the top 10, he's continuing this slow but steady slide backwards.
Yeah, this will be the part that'll be difficult for him. See, Ricky Stenhouse and Trevor Bayne still having a nice battle there, but he'll have to figure out some things of how he wants to adjust on this race car. And it looks like he may be a little bit to the loose side. Can't get back to the throttle, and that's getting him in trouble right now.
That's Mike Bliss right behind him there. In fact, Mike had to check up, lost some momentum, and there's Brian Scott trying to take advantage. Now, you know, we mentioned Trevor just a few cars up. He has 6 top 11 finishes right now in his last 7 races. He has been coming on strong here in this mid part of the season.
Trevor Bayne is a young man, has a tremendous amount of talent, knows how to go fast. Speaking of fast, this has been the fastest guy all year in this series. Brad Keselowski picking up a spot.
He gets around Matt Kenseth. And for Kenseth, I mean, he's got some records here. He has the most top 10s at Atlanta, the most top 5s also at Atlanta. And he also holds the distinction of coming back from the worst starting position to win back in 2004. He was 28th. That day.
It makes it difficult, though, and I'm speaking of Matt Kenseth or anybody that just comes in here every once in a while to get the feel of what it takes to drive these cars. Not that he can't drive it that hard, but to know the adjustments you need to make to go fast.
Checking in again on the local boy of Reed Sorensen. He's running 7th right now, 4.6 seconds behind our race leader.
Please tell me that we did not leave a wheel loose. Just be ready, guys. Feel it out here.
What Reed Sorensen is saying is he has a vibration now in the car. And guys, you know, after a pit stop, when your driver starts feeling a vibration, the first thing he thinks about is, oh my gosh, we left a lug nut and a wheel loose. And at these speeds, DJ, that's got to be very, very worrisome for a driver.
Yeah, Doc, you've got that exactly right. That's what I was standing here thinking. This isn't the place to really be testing that very long to see if that may indeed be the problem.
And he didn't get that warm and fuzzy feeling from the response from the crew. I mean, they didn't say, no, we don't have a loose wheel, which usually a tire changer will know. They'll know if that tire's loose or not, or if there's a chance there's some lug nuts loose. And you know, I didn't hear them saying they were pretty sure they were tight.
Guys, I'm looking at the charts again, and we talked about the drop-off in speeds. It dropped 14 miles an hour during that first green flag stretch of 42 laps, and here we are about 8 laps into this run, and we've already dropped off again from 32nd laps down to 32.
It's got to be one of the most difficult racetracks to drive, Dale, because, I mean, you see these bumps, the grip's going away, you're still going extremely fast, and sawing the wheel at 190 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's one of the most fun, challenging racetracks that you'll drive on. As we see Joey Logano picking up a spot here from Paul Menard. But it is a challenge. It's a fun challenge. But between driver and crew chief, man, you can drive yourself literally crazy here trying to work on the race car.
You can see that Joey has put himself back into the top 10 right now. And he pulls away right now after getting that great run. And right behind the 98 is Jason Leffler.
Yeah, it looks like Menard might have got a little loose. You get your car sideways and lose just a little bit of rear grip. You have to get out of the gas so much that you feel like you've lost a cylinder.
Reed Sorensen getting passed by the 22 on the left side of your screen by Brad Keselowski. On the right side, here comes Leffler underneath Menard.
It's a good run on the bottom there. He's going to get Menard cleared easily here.
Well, 5 of Leffler's 8 top 10 finishes in 2010 have been in this number 10 car. In fact, the 38 has sort of had almost like a hex on it. We'll show you some of the stats a little bit later, but that 38 car has had its issues all season long and not always driver induced. And after he clears Menard, he pulls away.
Yeah, and I would think this would be a good track. We've heard Leffler talk about it. It's not exactly the place that he's been in some of his best runs, but when I think of Jason Leffler and the talent that he has, you would think this would be one of those places that he could do pretty well.
Well, we mentioned the fact that Kyle Busch has now led over 1,500 laps this year. He continues to rack them up. He's led 41 tonight. He and Casey Kane have been the only 2 leaders. We've had a total of 3 lead changes. And a number of cars that have checked out of the race early were Chase Miller, Danny O'Quinn, Johnny Chapman, Kevin LePage, Dennis Setzer, Kevin Hamlin, and Jeff Green. Total of 20 cars on the lead lap after 58 of 195. Under our second caution after Michael McDowell spun, Kevin Harvick was the first of the lead group to come in, and they are changing tires.
Well, a lot of cars are probably trying to save a set of tires, but you can see Kevin Harvick and a half a dozen or more cars coming in. Got a little problem right there with Trevor Bayne getting blocked in now.
Yeah, Mark Green came in, and Trevor Bayne could not get out. That's going to cost him a few spots.
It's going to change it up a little bit.
Near disaster right there.
Yeah, so this is going to change it up a little bit because they're going to have good tires here. A lot of cars are, and you're going to see a speed difference with these tires. But now these cars won't have an extra set later in the race.
Well, here at the Great Clips 300, let's take you back and show you exactly what happened when pit road opened. And was anybody going to go in the lead group and watch Harvick? Because he's the first.
Yeah, you can see Kyle Busch up on the top. He was trying to get everybody to stay out with him. He didn't want any of these guys pitting and hanging him out there, so he was letting them know, hey, I'm not going in as the leader. Follow me around.
Now, here's what happened with Trevor Bayne.
Whoa, baby.
Hey. Back it up, guys.
He came in 17th. Now you see 1, 2.
There you go. Easy.
So 3 more cars get by him. So he's going to start a little bit further back. Here's the reason we're under caution.
You can see down the bottom coming out of turn 2, Michael McDowell's car extremely loose. He loses it. Does a nice job, though, of keeping it from going back up in front of traffic.
We can also tell you, as this finishes up, the 66 of Stephen Wallace will get the lucky dog. That'll give us 21 cars back on the lead lap. And I'm looking over to the west, and the sun has gone down where it will no longer be a factor in the eyes of these drivers. And there's the view. Oh, what a beautiful sunset it is here in Atlanta tonight. And the weather has been absolutely perfect today and supposed to be just as good tomorrow. Let's go over the wall with Mark Hollywood Armstrong. Well, Hollywood didn't say much on that one, but he sure did work fast. There he is. Good job, Mark. And the crew, as we said, they got the lucky dog. So, Stephen, back on the lead lap. The 11th, or the top 11 right now in this field, did not pit. That includes leader Kyle Busch, McMurray, Kane, Edwards, Newman, Brad Keselowski, Reed Sorensen, Kenseth, Logano, Leffler, and David Gilliland. So it'll be interesting to see how those 11 fare when we go back to green flag racing. How about our motorsports calendar? Because NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, is going to be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And if you are a drag racing fan, the Mac Tools U.S. Nationals presented by Lucas Oil. We've got qualifying tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And then the finals Monday, 1 Eastern on ESPN2. And NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, of course, action here in Atlanta tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, over on ESPN. And then next Friday night under the lights at Richmond, the NASCAR Nationwide Series at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And while we continue under this second caution, let's thank the guys from Goodyear. Look at the view from high above. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear is the official tire of NASCAR.
See all the campers from that shot. I was really pleasantly surprised when I came in here Thursday and saw the nice crowd of campers already assembled here, ready for this race weekend.
All right. Remember earlier we heard on the radio that Reed Sorensen thought he might have had a loose lug nut? Well, Reed did not pit. He's 7th right now. Doc, what do you think?
Marty, that's the enigma here. He had the vibration, and the caution came out and said, what a break for the 32 car. But they had a discussion, and he said, look, he told his crew chief, said, it's vibrating, but it's not getting any worse, so why don't I just stay out? And Trent Owen said, okay, just stay out. We only have 3 sets of tires left anyway, so let's stay out, and let's hope that it's not a tire loose wheel vibration you're feeling, or it would be getting worse. The vibration is still there, just not getting worse, and they roll the dice on this caution.
Crew chief?
Well, the thing that they're kind of banking on is maybe they just got a tire out of balance, and this set of tires just has a little vibration. I'll tell you, I would have pitted that car right there and changed them because don't want to take a chance on having a loose wheel.
Reed Sorensen's best Atlanta finish in 5 previous starts, 10th last September. Green flag's out. We're back to racing. Kyle Busch took the high side again with McMurray and Edwards duking it out. Kane, Keselowski, Newman. That's your top 6.
Man, look at Newman making the move on Casey Kane, 3 wide.
It's going to get interesting here.
McMurray down the bottom, taking the lead away from Kyle Busch.
Jamie McMurray out front. Remember, he picked up his first Nationwide Series race victory here. And he's pulling away this time from Kyle. 3 wide, a little bit further back. And again, Paul Menard's in this mix.
Yeah, Paul came in, but I think he only got fuel whenever he came in there. Josh Wise, he came in, worked on his car, got 4 new Goodyears.
Let's get an update on the 98. Dave Burns.
They did not take on tires, that is correct, but he desperately wanted them to put back a wedge adjustment they'd made on the first pit stop as they go 3 wide with these guys. The wedge adjustment had made the 98 way too loose, and he had to come down pit road.
Right side, Carl Edwards gets passed by the 22 at Keselowski, and he's under attack from Harvick. On the left side of your screen, you can see a 4-5 car train right now, and that's a battle for 14th on the track.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski told me today he wasn't sure. If they had to race during the day, he said his car would not be good. He was only hoping and praying it would be much better tonight, and he's worked his way up into the 3rd spot already.
Okay, see Harvick now coming on these fresh tires. Look at how much difference this is. Big run on Casey Kane. I'm not sure Casey saw him coming.
No, and Kevin gave him a little bit of room there, too, or he'd have been way on past.
Harvick's picked up 8 spots since the restart, Jamie Little.
Absolutely, and they were very confident in their call to come down pit road on lap 61. He said his car was just a little bit tight, but he was so happy with the pit stop before. They did the same changes just to get the car that much better, guys, and it is working.
He has moved up to 4th, and as we mentioned, he's picked up 8 spots, now 9 since the restart. And you can see right behind him is Justin Allgaier, who's picked up 5.
He should be able to take the lead here in this sequence because tires are just worth so much. Even though they only had, 15 or so laps on them, it still makes a big difference. You'll see right now Kevin Harvick should be able to slice through these guys and get the lead.
Yeah, these guys will only hope that got tires that this will have a long green flag stint right here as well will work to their advantage.
Allgaier and Wise side by side. Remember, Allgaier got a lap down early, got the lucky dog. That is a battle for 11th.
And look at the sparks flying off Allgaier's car.
Yeah, Justin was telling me his car didn't have much grip, that he was hoping whenever the sun went down that might apply some grip to his car. It looks like it's helping him so far.
Let's check in again because here comes Harvick. Man, it looks like he's got the afterburners on.
Yeah, it's not even a fair fight when you have tires that much better.
Oh, man, you feel like Superman when you get tires like this and the other guys stayed out there.
Jamie McMurray might be thinking in his mirror, what is this lightning bolt coming towards me?
Yeah, he knows what's coming. I mean, he can tell what's going on here. He knows Harvick's got fresher tires, but here's what he's banking on. He's going to be doing this to Kevin Harvick late in the race because he'll have an extra set of tires. I'll go ahead and take my medicine now to have better tires later.
Well, we may have our 4th official leader when he comes back to the stripe because he just went around Jamie McMurray like he was standing still. And you can see he's opening up the gap. And so now it is our 4th official leader and our 5th lead change.
Yeah, and I know that this is a tire situation right here, but I think if we remember back to last year, Kevin Harvick's car really came alive whenever the sun went down.
And that's the thing we start focusing on now is whose car is most adjustable as the track continues to cool. How about this time why on the line we get the speeds at the line?
I love those speeds at the line. You can see who's fast and who, may not be somebody that you're seeing right up front. Could be somebody back in the pack. We know Harvick's the fastest more than likely, though.
Yeah, big speed difference, too.
Goodness,
3 miles an hour.
Drops down to Edwards at 169 and all the way down to 168 for Leffler in 11th. Let's listen in on Harvick's radio.
Get as far ahead as possible. Try to lap as many as I can. 10-4.
Interesting strategy. Try and put as much ground as you can.
Well, you got to use those tires to your advantage, and he wants to try to just put as many people a lap down so they can't use that extra set of tires they have against him later.
72 of 195 laps. Kevin Harvick, as we mentioned, our 4th different leader. And, of course, he won this race last year, leading over 130 laps in the process.
A beautiful night for racing for the NASCAR Nationwide Series Great Clips 300. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. We're at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, a little past the 1/3 mark of tonight's event. And we have seen a little change in scenery at the front of the pack after Kyle Busch and Casey Kane fought hard for the lead in the opening laps. Busch established himself as a leader and ran away for a little while until the second caution of the race went on strategy. Kevin Harvick took fresh tires, blasted from 13th spot up into the lead, and the guys who did not stop under the last caution have faded back from his bumper quite a bit. From the pit studio with Rusty and Brad, as we watch some of the racing back in the pack, people like Brian Newman in the 1, Casey Kane in the 38, and Justin Allgaier in the 12. Let's talk about the gamble that 33 team made, the ups and downs of them using that set of tires.
Well, that was a big gamble, and you just got to hope it works for him. You heard Kevin earlier say, hey, I just want to run hard, try to drive away from these guys and put as many cars a lap down as we can. To me, it's going to be all about tire management, but the temperatures, I think, are really going to start helping things. You see when when you started the race, it was 130 degrees track temperature for qualifying. The race start was 102, and now currently we're all the way down to 91 degrees surface temperature. And Brad, I will tell you one thing, when the track gets cool, the cars go faster and they handle better.
Yeah, they do, Rusty. And the thing that's going to have to happen for Kevin Harvick and a lot of these guys up front, they're going to want to see a long green flag run right here. They need that in order to stay out and not have to come in and use, for some of them, that last set of tires before they get to the end of this race so they can get a good run.
One note, this race a year ago had only 3 caution flags and 14 laps of yellow. We've had 2 cautions for 8 laps already, and we're not to halfway in this one. Casey Kane, one of the guys who did not pit under the most recent yellow for tires, Dave.
And Alan, I'm not sure he wants to see Big Brad's long green run right now because he is loose. And on that first pit stop, they made a slight adjustment to the car, removing tape from the front end. That was to cool it down a little bit, but that also should tighten the car up. It went right back to loose. Let's go to the Craftsman Tech Garage. And Tim Brewer, show me a typical tape adjustment on the front end. And then if that doesn't work, where would you go next?
Tell you what, Dave, you got a little bit of a security blanket built in here, folks, because when you tape don't work on the front, always remember, all that 18.5 gallon of fuel that you got back here, it's going to transfer weight to the front of the car. And as the transition goes on, what's going to happen when you put more weight on the front tires, you're actually going to pin the front of the car and tighten it up. So when a tape adjustment doesn't work, the next thing you're going to look for is hopefully that weight transfer is going to tighten it up, but you're still going to have to go to work, working on the wear pin indicators, making sure that the air pressure adjustments you make might be right. Dave?
And And you can see now, Tim, that car is just out of control loose. He just lost 9th position to Matt Kenseth. He restarted 3rd, so he's going the wrong way. They're going to need to get that car on pit road hopefully soon. Marty?
And I think the big surprise for us is track temperature is going down, but this looks exactly like it did at the beginning of the race.
Well, when the track temperature goes down, you get a lot of grip. All the cars gain grip the same amount, but what happens differently is the balance doesn't change the same on every car. The way your car's set up, when that grip starts coming back, it can actually make one axle grip more than the other, and that's when you see these extreme loose conditions or tight conditions.
Yeah, and you start going a little bit faster as we see Stephen Wallace here, who's made a great move. He's up to the 14th spot now, picked up 23 spots since the beginning of this race. But another thing can happen, you pick up some speed, you get more air on the nose, which makes more downforce, so then you're getting the back end of the car out of the racetrack a little bit more. So all of these things work against you.
But I'll tell you, Casey Kane's car has been slammed sideways since the start of the race. I don't know he's even held on to it. He even held the lead for a long time while this thing was just completely out of control.
Well, he's losing a spot to Reed Sorensen, and now Joey Logano is attacking him as well, so he could be in 10th place here pretty quickly. And there's Josh Wise trying to fight his way back in towards the top 10.
Casey Kane's just doing a remarkable job not wrecking this race car and continue to be able to run even as fast as he is.
Let's go back and show you just how much of a handful the 38 has been for Casey tonight.
You can see he tries to go to the bottom of the track, carry some speed. You can see just how much the nose pinned right there.
I don't know how he's hanging on to that thing, but
yeah, he's turning right more than he is left, and these are big corners that you have to put a lot of wheel into.
I talked to Stuart Cooper before the race, and he said that they expected the track to actually, for the track to loosen up as it got cooler and faster. They're just not able to keep up with these. You know, they started out loose, obviously, so they haven't been able to keep up with the adjustments.
Check in again with Justin Allgaier. Remember, he along with Stephen Wallace have been the 2 lucky dog recipients, and both of them have taken advantage. Look at Allgaier. He has moved up into the 7th position after at one point being 21st, 1 lap down. Left side of your screen. Slower traffic as Reed Sorensen and Casey Kane go around the lap vehicle.
Now, Allgaier has those fresher tires than what Ryan Newman has, but you can kind of see now Justin made his way up there into that 7th spot. Been trying to pass Ryan Newman, but he's fallen off a little bit now, so the good of those tires is kind of starting to go away. So if he has some handling issues, we'll see that take place now. But they've made a great run to get themselves up inside the top 10.
Well, and what's interesting is we continue to watch this battle, and here comes Casey on the high side. On the right side of your screen, all of a sudden, Kyle Busch is caught up to Jamie McMurray. That is a battle for second.
Yeah, I've been watching times there, and it seemed that Kyle Busch's car literally hasn't really slowed down that much here. It's kind of settled down, and Jamie McMurray's been losing about 2 to 2.5 tenths per lap to Kyle. He's going to try to take that 2nd spot away now.
Joe Nemechek and Brad Baker get lapped again. They are 2 laps down now to the race leaders.
Shows you how wide the track is, because they didn't even get in the way at all of that race there for second.
Kyle gets around Jamie McMurray, but he is still 9.5 seconds behind Kevin Harvick. And going down this road, guys, because of all the cars that pitted, only Harvick, Justin Allgaier, and Josh Wise have really improved their positions from where they were. Because Allgaier, as we mentioned, is 7th. Josh Wise is 12th. And Harvick, of course, is leading this race, although he's in the middle of some traffic as he gets underneath Michael Annett. It's great to see the Valvoline colors back right there on the 15 car, going around Robert Richardson. Richardson now will be, I think, 7 laps down, as he's had all kinds of issues.
Now, I think this was a great move by Kevin Harvick and his team to get in there and get tires. We see a lot of green flag racing happen here. We saw 42 laps earlier in this race, and we can see even green flag pit stops. So this was a great call. They've got out to a 10-second lead now.
So we've completed 91 of 195 laps. There's your top 5, and Harvick leads by 10 seconds. We are getting closer to pit stops, and we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast. Speed on the track and speed on pit road. Make a mistake, it could cost your driver a race, because it looks like we're getting ready for another round of green flag stops here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the guy who's flying right now is Kevin Harvick. He has a 12-second lead. The gamble seems to be paying off, guys, because as Brad Daugherty mentioned, if these laps stayed green, it plays into their hand.
Yeah, that's what makes this gamble pay off. The longer they can run, the better it is for Kevin Harvick. And when they start making these green flag pit stops, the cars that have to pit because of fuel, you'll see Harvick come in with them because he doesn't want to give up that advantage that he's gained here.
He's going around Trevor Bayne, and Trevor is in the 17th position. While we were gone, he put Boyer a lap down, Gilliland a lap down, and now Trevor Bayne a lap down.
And Trevor Bayne was one of those drivers that came in and got 4 tires the last time. So,
whoa,
Harvick. You can see Harvick really loose there.
Yeah, he clipped the apron getting in the corner right there. Just about lost it.
All right, let's give you an idea just how far 12 seconds looks on the racetrack as we look for Kyle Busch, and we keep looking.
Where's he at?
Looking.
That's not him.
And looking.
Where is it? There he is.
And there he is, finally. That is a big gap. Okay, let's talk a little strategy because it looks like we are going to have another round of green flag stops. If you are Kevin Harvick, how much longer do you stay out when you see the other guys starting to pit?
I think you let the leaders all come and come just as soon after that as possible.
Well, we may get our first idea because here comes the 42 in for a pit stop, David Gilliland.
Well, he'd just gone a lap down. This is a good time to make that stop. Go ahead and make it early. You can make up just a little time here under green and maybe get back on the lead lap, at least for a short amount of time.
Yeah, you figure just 3 laps and at 2 seconds per lap, then you made up 6 seconds of that, and he wasn't that far behind as far as he just got lapped.
And we talked about it earlier. In 8 laps, the tires fell off 2 seconds a lap, so you can't afford to stay out there too long.
Look how low Kevin Harvick's running on the racetrack, though. You saw him get on the apron. He got just a little too low, but he's putting both those left side tires completely below that yellow line.
And I think that's probably because Kevin has gotten his car tight enough to make it turn in the center. He's having to get that left front down almost off the racing surface.
Whoa!
Oh, that was close.
Man,
that's one of the things that you really have to, if you're coming to the...
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing.
Well, he was heading for pit road, but there was no way that Kevin knew that.
Well, that's why you really have to make sure as that driver that's going to the pits that you've got your hand up waving just to let them know back there. See, the closing rate is, I mean, he's running 40 miles an hour faster right here, but he's up the racetrack. Kevin wouldn't really know. If you're going to be going into the pits, you need to have those left side tires right down in front. See, he slides up right in front. Kevin thinks he's just going to continue on. Ooh, nice shot by Harvick, though, to miss that.
Clear.
Let's check in on Reed Sorensen as he's got a battle going with the 38 of Casey Kane. Sorensen takes over the spot for 11th, and here comes the 66 of Stephen Wallace. Remember when he was lapped down? Wallace really on the move now in 13th, trying to take over 12th.
Well, he got that lap back, and he came in the pit road, got 4 tires just like Kevin Harvick, but he had to start at the back of the field. So he's making his way up using the same strategy that Kevin did.
Picked up 24 spots since the very start of the race. 8 spots since the restart. And here he goes underneath as we get a view from high above. And he's going to take that position. While all this is going on, we'll just tell you the lead is still 12 seconds for Kevin Harvick. But this is going to be a very interesting strategic battle before this night is over. Let's go on board with Steven as he just sort of pulls away.
Yeah, and the new tires help in this type situation where Stephen Wallace has about probably 17 laps fresher. See, Casey Kane's coming to pit road right now.
So Casey Kane's had enough of that slipping inside.
At the line.
Well, they need to make an adjustment on this car this time, too, to try to get Casey a little tighter.
So as they go all the way down the far end of pit road, we'll send it to Dave Burns.
And as he was getting pressure from Stephen Wallace, the words came out of Casey Kane's mouth, gotta pit. So Stuart Cooper called him on to pit road. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and air pressure adjustment for him on this car. They're going to work on the valence a little bit again on the front of the car. They just had such a loose run that last time. Stuart promised him, we'll take a big swing this time, and it's going to be much bigger than they took last time. Still on pit road, trying to finish up. Little time wasted on there, but it looks fairly clean as he gets away, guys.
And Jason Leffler now on pit road. The car's been a little bit tight on entry toward the center, and as that run progressed, it was getting worse and worse. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, a 4-tire change on this car, hoping to free it up just a little bit, Doc.
And rolling the dice did indeed help Reed Sorensen. They had a vibration, did not have a tire go down, so they made an air pressure adjustment. Now the 60 car, Carl Edwards in. 4 tires for Carl Edwards, and they're also going to do a half a pound of air out of the right front tire. Try to get the car to turn a little more in the center of the corner off. The 20 car, Joey Logano to the car. Guys, it's still very, very tight. They're going to go up 1 round on the track bar, 4 tires, and top it off with Sunoco fuel. Logano said the car is still way too tight. And now Kyle Busch, the early leader, running second spot, coming in to get those valuable Goodyear tires. 4 tires, slide air pressure. The car getting a little free coming off the corner, but taking the rubber out of the left rear helped him a lot. Kyle, no other changes, he said. Down and away. Mike.
Matt Kenseth has had some difficulty working traffic. The car just pushing, especially on exit. They're going to try to free him up with a little bit of air pressure. A 4-tire change being called by Ricky Viers for Kenseth. Kenseth down and away.
14.3 for Kenseth, 13.6 for Kyle Busch. And Harvick stays out.
Well, Jamie McMurray's still out there. Justin Allgaier's still out there, but there's McMurray coming to the pits now.
Dave?
Yeah, guys, here comes McMurray right now. That car was a little bit looser on the run. Then near the end, he was tight in the middle of the corner. Gave up 3rd position to come down pit road, make an air pressure adjustment. Jamie?
And Brad Keselowski says the car is actually really good, just lacking a little bit of grip. 4 tires and fuel was the call.
There they come out of pit road, and will Harvick come in? No, he's going to stay out again. Now, there's only, right now, 5 cars on the lead lap.
The one thing about Harvick is whenever he has clear racetrack, he's still running some pretty good times. So he's probably right now only going to lose just a second and a half to those guys for a few laps.
Stephen Wallace is running in 4th, and he just went a lap down. Harvick, you heard him on the radio. Here comes Wallace right back on him. He says, I'd like to get it back. Can't get it done, though. Remember when Harvick got on the radio after the stop? He says, okay, I'm going to try and put as many cars a lap down as I can. Dave, what's the latest on 66?
That they got that car so much better throughout the course of these runs. The last run he came in, and remember, he's got an extra 15 or 20 laps that he can go before he'll have to come in. But the car was, the front end was not in the track, so they made wedge, track bar, air pressure, the big 3 to get him better, and he's moved up so many positions during this race. It's been a good night so far for Steven.
You saw Joey Logano go around, but Joey is 2 laps down right now in 15th position. And here he comes closing in on Kevin Harvick.
I would expect Kevin Harvick to come pretty soon. Now, he's going to see this 20 car coming, just seeing how much more speed there is, and he'll be thinking, I need to be on pit road. Here comes Allgaier. Dave? Mike?
And it has been a long night so far for Justin Allgaier. However, there has been some reason for optimism. The car had started to get a little bit better toward the end of that run. It was still, though, a little bit free on throttle to try to help him out a little bit with some air pressure. Also a 4-tire change in Sunoco race fuel for Allgaier.
Josh Wise looks like he's going to make the turn down, as Wise, who had inherited 2nd place. So that means right now only Kevin Harvick is the last one to cycle through. Mike?
And for Josh Wise, this pit stop, it's got to come as a bit of a relief. After the last pit stop, he rolled out of there and thought he had a right rear vibration. Wasn't sure if the tire was loose. His crew chief, Tony Uri Jr., was trying to reassure him. However, this will put all doubts to rest. A 4-tire change for Wise as they complete their stop and are away. Dave?
They're going to adjust the front air pressures on the 98 car of Paul Menard as they put Sunoco fuel in to keep that car going as well. Remember, Paul was able to stay out a little bit longer because he came in and didn't change tires last time. This time he's going to get 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, and they'll send him back up pit road.
Stenhouse Jr. is in his pit box, and the call is around a wedge. 4 tires. The night has been pretty good. Not bad for a guy who's making his first start here at Atlanta.
Clint Boyer also coming out as well. You see Ryan Newman getting back on the Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We apologize. We had a transmission issue. We sort of left you abruptly. One guy who hasn't left the racetrack, though, is Kevin Harvick, and it's got a few of us kind of baffled because he is definitely slower. Kyle Busch was over a second a lap faster.
Next time by. Pit. I'm going to put those 18 lappers on.
And you just heard the call for Kevin's crew, next time by.
What they're going to put on is they used up another set of tires. They did some mock qualifying and then a little practice. So they're going to have 18 laps. Not going to be quite as good as the stickers. This is going to be very interesting. They've given up a lot of time on the racetrack here, Andy.
Yeah, I think if I was going to do that, I probably pitted him a little sooner because there's a point of diminished return here on what they're trying to do, and they gave up so many laps of speed. They're going to end up losing the lead.
Here's the magic number. 12.9 was the lead for Kevin Harvick when we started this whole cycle of green flag stops. Now, Kyle Busch is at start-finish right now. Let's send it to Jamie Little.
Well, you guys heard the call there. They're putting the one set of used tires on the 33 car while he does have two sets of stickers back here. They said, let's put them on and go for it. The car is pretty good. Now, keep in mind, the 18 on the right-hand side is up to speed. The idea is to get the 33 out ahead of the 18, or guys, the 33 goes a lap down.
Here he comes through turns 3 and 4. Now remember, Kyle was a lap down. That put him back on the lead lap, and here comes Kyle going through. So Kyle Busch is going to take the race lead. And here comes Harvick out onto the track.
You can see just how much he gave up.
Well, let me check now. Let me make sure, because we got to wait till it cycles back through around to make sure that who is the official race leader, because it gets a little confusing when you're dealing with cars that are a full lap down plus the distance that they're on the racetrack. Kyle weaving his way through traffic right now, and he is shown as the official race leader. In second place right now is Jamie McMurray. Third place is Carl Edwards. And Kevin Harvick comes across in fourth place, 8.3 seconds behind. So it was a 20-second swing.
Yeah, he just stayed out too long. He should have made a pit stop just a little earlier. Now he's got tires that have 18 laps on them. And I think what they're thinking is that if we're going to put tires on with laps, let's try to let these other cars run as many laps as they can so we don't get beat lap time wise. But now they've lost so much ground.
Yeah, that's what we'll have to see now is what kind of lap times he runs versus what Kyle Busch is running right at this point.
All right, we focused a lot of attention, obviously, on what's been happening up front, but let's go a little bit further into third place. Carl Edwards, Dr. Jerry Punch, what's happening?
Marty, this might be an area of concern for Carl Edwards. It may not be. Now, take a look at the right front tire that came off 63 laps on this tire, and see the inside shoulder starting to separate and come apart here. About 1 by 4.5 inches on the inside shoulder. Again, this is the right front tire of Carl Edwards. They had the same issue happen in practice yesterday. They said it was probably a green racetrack. Oh, we don't have a green racetrack now, and they saw it again on that last stop.
Well, like Doc, you said, it could or could not be an issue, and if they don't run another 60-lap run, it'll be fine. I mean, getting that many laps out of a set of tires at Atlanta, it's got almost a miracle anyway. So they did that. They got him off before it had a problem, so he should be okay.
Okay, so this green flag round of pit stops is over, and Kyle Busch is now comfortably back in front of Jamie McMurray by 5.9 seconds. We should also update you. Mike Wallace has withdrawn from the race, taking it behind the wall. He'll finish officially in 36th position. Robert Richardson is 22 laps down, but he has gotten, there he is on the right side of your screen, back out as Kyle Busch goes past him once again. Paul Menard trying to stay on the lead lap there. He is currently running in 14th position, and Kyle Busch is out front again.
The opening weekend of college football capped by a season-defining game on Monday night for two top 10 teams. Kellen Moore leads the third-ranked Broncos of Boise State against Ryan Williams and the 10th-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies. It's the All-State kickoff in the Capitol, part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week on ESPN Monday at 8 Eastern Time. College football available on TV, online, and on your phone. Go to ESPN.com for more information. Here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, 64 laps to go. Very intriguing, strategically run race being played out with long green flag runs, putting crews on different courses of action. And which one's going to turn out to be best? Hard to tell right now. Down to the pit studio with Rusty Wallace and Brad Daugherty. Just a little recap. Kevin Harvick pitted under lap 61 yellow when Kyle Busch did not. So Busch pitted at 106 under the green. Harvick stayed out till 121. End result, Busch now leads Harvick by 5.3 seconds. That gap closing as the laps run on. This graphic shows you comparing their lap times, lap after lap. At what point that red line would cross the white line would be the lap where Kevin Harvick would catch Kyle Busch for the lead. It's in the 130 somewhere. It's tracking forward as this thing closes up. You look at these two, Rusty, Harvick, Bush, who's got the upper hand?
Well, I'm looking at how many laps they can run, and everybody still has to stop one more time. So, I mean, right now you got to say Bush he's leading the race. He's looking pretty good, although Kevin's back there in traffic a little bit, just got around Jason Keller there. And he's running about 0.2 of a second faster than Kyle. He's 5 seconds behind, but I guess the key thing I'm looking at, you know, I don't know if it was a big gain or not because everybody's still got to stop one more time.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rusty, 100%. I think if we don't get a caution, you're going to have a green flag stop that will tighten this field back up. Right now, it looks like Kyle Busch, though, is Katie bar the door. He's out front, he's pushing, he's running hard, but Kevin Harvick is running the fastest lap times, but he can't catch him, I don't think, Rusty, until we get to that green flag stop or a caution.
On our NASCAR countdown earlier, Rusty said if Kyle Busch was going to win tonight, he was going to have to beat Kevin Harvick. Right now, Kyle is in the lead, trying to take for himself an all-time series record for most wins in a single season. He tied Sam Ard for that record in 2008. Kyle with 10 wins in 20 tries already this season, looking for win number 11 tonight, and by the way, looking for his and the Joe Gibbs Racing team's first Nationwide Series win at this Atlanta Motor Speedway. They are 60 laps away from the checkered flag and finding out how this is all going to play out. And I'll bet those crew chiefs are grinding on this strategy thing if the race stays green to try and figure out what the right thing to do is going to be. And really, the limiting factor for Kyle Busch, if the race stays green, he's going to have to stay out there. And one of two things going to happen for him. I'd love to bring Andy Petrie in on this, by the way, our champion crew chief. One of two things going to happen here with this 18 team. He's going to stay out there either as long as the fuel allows, or Andy, he's going to split the difference on the number of laps left in the race and get on fresher tires and try and force the 33's hand. That's a possibility too, right?
Yeah, Alan, you're thinking like a crew chief.
That scares me.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. But anyway, he can go until about 30 to go on the fuel. Now, does he want to try to take advantage of those tires a little longer than, say, 30 laps from the end of the race? That's the call the crew chief has to make. And, you know, the 18 team is who everybody will probably key off of unless Harvick is able to run them down, and he is catching these leaders by a little bit of lap. But that's going to be a tough decision.
Yeah, and he can force Kevin Harvick's hand a little bit because Kevin's sitting there with one set of tires left. So if they come in a little bit early and then they should have a late race caution, well, the 18 has another set, so he would be okay in trying to force all of that.
And the one thing these crew chiefs all have in front of them helping them make those decisions is data on how many cautions traditionally fly and when they fly in these races. As Harvick continues trying to chip away on Kyle Busch and see if he can close in down to 4.7 seconds. He was 8.3 behind after the pit stop cycled out back at lap number 122. They all have this data in front of them with history, when the cautions fly, how they normally fly. And I'll bet they're all expecting to see the yellow at least one more time. Question is when.
Well, we always seem like we get a caution late in these races, although when it comes to history, I don't know if I'm going to really look at the history a whole lot right now.
Intermittently.
A little smoke showing out of the 66 car. Dave, something there?
Yeah, AB, and they say it's coming out of the pipes, and that's not a good sign. Could be motor related, and Steven's going to bring it to pit road here in a lap or so. Let the crew take a look.
Not good. Had started in that 66 way back in 37th spot, worked his way up into the top 15, and ran as high as second at one point in the race in a cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, he ran real strong tonight. He really made his way to the front.
Tough luck for
Do you feel like
Steve
you've lost
Wallace.
the cylinder? Yeah, he's coming to you, Steve-O. Get in here.
Disappointing night that had some promise. With 55 laps to go, the 66 car will go to the garage. We watch the 33 and 18 to see the gap between them. And
but to your point, Alan, I think that the bottom line is we're going to have a stop one way or another, whether it be a caution or a green flag stop. There will be another stop, and that will bunch the field up a little bit.
I think Kyle Busch is leading this thing right now. When he hits pit road, the rest of these guys got to hit pit road. They got to go right now, whether they got more gas or not, Brad. They got to stay with them on the tire strategy. That's in my opinion.
Mark Armstrong, our over-the-wall reporter, with the spotlight on the top of his helmet, as well as the camera. Having a look underneath.
Push her to the garage, boys.
Whatever they see under that left front corner of that engine is not something they like. And so the 66 car and Steve Wallace will see their night end 53 laps shy of the finish. Kyle Busch leading Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick, 53 to go.
Welcome back to the Great Clips 300, and make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And why we're looking at Trevor Bayne is he is one of the participants in our third caution here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's show you exactly. He was running 17th. He was a lap down. And this guy, Ryan Newman, who is running in 8th position, didn't like what was going on.
Well, Trevor was trying to make a pass.
Yeah, I mean, you see, Newman had a huge run coming off the corner. And Trevor just pulls up on, right in front of Newman, and I'm not even sure Ryan could even, back off soon enough.
Yeah, I think that the 99 he was kind of walking his car up the track because he was so loose right there and just got a little bit of a nudge, already out of control. You see him go up through. As you cross each one of those seams, you lose a little bit more grip, and just right in front of Ryan Newman.
A little bit earlier also, they were side by side, sort of fighting for position, and Trevor, as we mentioned, was one lap down.
That wasn't a tap to spin Trevor Bayne out there that Ryan Newman did. That was just to let him know that, hey, you cut that a little bit too close, and he was just going to push him down the back.
Grab a gear here, man. See if we can roll here.
But the 99 was already sideways.
Yeah, he was so loose already.
All right, so this changes strategy. And one guy we have not intentionally overlooked, but Jamie McMurray is still a definite player in this mix.
Oh, absolutely he is. He'd actually run down Kyle Busch a little bit during that run. This will kind of even everybody out when they get tires on all these cars, and we'll see where everybody stacks up.
Well, remember we talked about the speed of your pit stop? Yeah, we're about to find out, as this is all so important. Doc, it's all yours.
Kyle Busch, Harvick, McMurray, Toyota, Chevy on your screen. Kyle Busch, top of the screen. Car very tight, taking one round of wedge out there, taking a rubber out of the left rear before. Jamie.
The good news for the 33, he's a little free, but he loves it. No adjustments, 4 tires and fuel for the 33, Dave.
Second place, McMurray, a little bit loose. He'd like air pressure back into the right front tire. That adjustment's been made. The 4th tire is on. McMurray's gone.
And McMurray on our nationwide insurance race off pit road will pick up the spot. Kyle Busch drops 3 in their worst stop of the night. So
Harvick, see that often.
Harvick and Edwards also pick up ground. Allgaier picks up 3.
That 18 team's a great team on pit road. You don't hardly ever see them lose spots like that.
Look at the 88 team saying, yes, we did it. Well, remember in 02, Jamie McMurray passed Joe Nemechek. The only last lap pass in 18 Nationwide Series Atlanta races. It was the only lap that he led, picking up his first ever win in the series. And boy, the 18 crew not real happy right now. So Jamie McMurray, after picking up his first win in 02, could he pick up another one tonight? Well, he's leading here with 47 to go.
Here's our 5-hour energy rapid recap of the race so far. Early laps, great duel between Kasey Kahne, 38, and Kyle Busch in the 18 before Kyle established himself as the early leader in this race. After a round of pit stops, Jamie McMurray in the 88 got up and showed he had some stuff.
Yeah, they've had great pit stops all night long. Jamie has a really fast car for him. He really got that thing. He battled Kyle Busch early on. Kyle finally got around him a little bit, but boy, Jamie's been strong all night.
Then the strategy move of the night. Kevin Harvick, who had pitted on a caution when most of the other front runners didn't, use those fresh tires to rocket from 14th to the lead and away.
He checked out. He was trying to put as many people a lap down as he possibly could, led 52 laps. He was toting the mail, baby.
Then Harvick finally stopped onto the green at lap 121. As the stops ended, Kyle Busch, who had been a lap and a little bit behind Harvick, came by and took the lead. Harvick came off the pit lane 8 seconds behind Kyle, chopped it down to 4 until the caution flag waved, erasing Kyle Busch's 4-second advantage. On the pit stops, troubles for the 18 puts McMurray out into the lead and Harvick out second. Here's the problem on the 18 pit stop. Watch the left front tire changer have to double clutch.
Said they had a problem with the impact wrench, really slowed him down. You see he's still trying to get the tire on, cost him a lot of time. Now he's back on the racetrack in 4th position.
So as our pit stop comparison time shows you between McMurray first off the pit lane and Kyle Busch, it was that time to hit that left front again that cost Kyle Busch 3 positions and dropped him back to 4th. So this is interesting. McMurray, the leader, chooses the outside with Harvick now to his inside. Remember, Kevin's really been fast on the bottom. And watch Kyle Busch coming from that outside of row 2. And we really haven't talked much about Carl Edwards tonight, guys. Marty, DJ, and Andy. but there he is.
3 waiver rounds to tell you about. Tony Raines, Kenny Wallace, and Brendan Gaughan. And the 7 of Josh Wise gets the lucky dog. 14 cars on the lead lap, and we're back to green flag racing with 43 to go.
See how this works for McMurray, but I'm not sure I'd have given Kevin Harvick the inside of the racetrack.
It's like, don't throw me in that briar patch.
Harvick makes the move. Can he clear him? Whoa!
Almost. Not quite.
Down the backstretch, and Harvick now
here
got
comes
momentum.
Keselowski. Look at Keselowski blast in there.
Through 3 and 4, it is still McMurray, and it looks like he's going to lead this lap. And he's starting to pull away.
Well, he was the smartest one. That's why he's driving. I'm up here talking, and sometimes shouldn't be doing that.
Harvick saw the sparks flying again. Now Kyle Busch goes around.
I think I got a loose wheel.
Uh-oh.
See,
Sounded
Casey
like,
Kane get
sounded
loose.
like Jamie McMurray said he had a loose wheel.
Well, we heard that earlier this evening from Reed Sorensen. It turned out not to be the case. Here comes Casey Kane underneath the 60 of Carl Edwards. That is for 5th.
Matt Kenseth right behind this.
I think they got the wheels tight. Tell him.
See some smoke out of that 38. See sparks flying out of Kenseth's car. A lot of sparks flying from a lot of cars.
Side by side, there is Leffler in the 10, also Kenseth in the 16.
3 wide here.
Leffler has fought his way back into that 7th position. A little further back, there's Boyer, Menard, Ryan Newman's in this mess as well as they are moving around, jockeying for position. That is all for position on the racetrack in that group. Meanwhile, up front, Jamie McMurray, if he's got a loose lug nut, it's not holding him up right now.
No, he's not letting him slow him down any right at this moment, but that's obviously something that would get worse. But sometimes you go back out and you're running so fast you start feeling things that you haven't felt before in the race car. These are the fastest laps these guys have run all night.
All right, let's go back to that group led by Logano in 9th, Newman, Menard, Sorensen, Allgaier, all in this mix. There's also some lap vehicles in there as well as like Stenhouse Jr. in the 6.
To go back just a second to what these guys might be talking about and feeling in these wheels possibly being loose. This racetrack, see, Casey Kane does have a problem now.
Yeah, something's wrong with the engine in that 38.
We saw a puff of smoke, and he is high on the racetrack waiting to get cleared to come down low.
Sue, you're clear after this. You're all clear. All clear.
And he can make it to the commitment cone. So again, we talked at the beginning of the broadcast. 6 prior races.
Right side's in the fender. Right side's in the fender.
And 4 times he's had finishes 26th or worse, and it's always been either a crash or a mechanical. And here comes another problem here on the 38th. Now, we heard the right fender. Let's take a look.
I think he got loose over here. May have gotten into a car with the 22 of Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, this may not be an engine problem after all.
Yeah, it's definitely sideways there.
There's where the smoke was coming from. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see that. So they might be able to get that fixed and back out.
So great camera work, guys, to catch it. Dave?
Yep, and they're confirming that it is definitely just the right front. They're working on tugging on that right front fender, and no motor issues listed right now. The hardest thing was finding him a spot to get down out of that high groove on the racetrack. But now it looks like the damage may be even worse as they continue underneath there, guys. And remember, for Casey, the only thing here is winning. They're not going for points, and that opportunity is quickly going away.
Well, yeah, he's already lost 1 lap, and it looks like he'll officially lose 2 before this is over. Now, that 38 car has had 10 DNFs in 2010 entering tonight. Checking in once again with Ryan Newman as he's got Reed Sorensen about a half a second behind him. That is for 9th on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Jamie McMurray is doing A-OK up front despite the fact that he felt that vibration. 0.6 of a second lead over Kyle Busch. There he is on the backstretch. 77 starts since McMurray's last Nationwide Series win. That was Darlington back in 04. Looking down at our race leaders, first and second, Jamie McMurray, followed by Kyle Busch. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And thanks, guys, for the great aerials tonight. Jamie McMurray's lead, 0.7 of a second. They sort of give and take depending on which lap we're looking at. But there's Kyle right behind him. And let's update you on the 38 of Kasey Kahne. He is 3 laps down, back out on track in 21st. And I think Dave has the remnants of that tire.
Marty, that is the right front tire for Kasey Kahne, and this is the first layer of the right front tire for Kasey Kahne. This was all wrapped around the right front rotor. That's why they had to take the extra time. This is normally where the rubber meets the road, but this is where it met a real problem for Kasey Kahne on pit road. They had to get that out of the rotor before he went back out.
Trouble for the hometown favorite, Reed Sorensen. He is into the wall hard. He was running 10th at the time on one of only 13 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, this is bad for Reed Sorensen. It's also going to be terrible for Kevin Harvick, who has no new sets of tires left. These other guys are going to put on new tires, so Harvick's going to be a sitting duck here.
Start packing it up, guys.
Yeah, because remember, we only have, well, it'll be now 12 cars on the lead lap because Sorensen would have been the 13th. Let's go back and see what happens. There's Ricky Stenhouse above him.
Okay, see Sorensen moves up there, slides up in front, but just jumps out from underneath him.
It's very similar to what we saw with Ryan Newman earlier when he got into the back of Trevor Bayne.
I'm not sure there was contact, though.
No, I don't think that there was contact there with the 6. I think the 32, just as he got up there, and you get the car probably pushing a lot right there, you give it a little tug on the wheel, and then it just snaps loose.
15th DNF for Ron Racing due to crashes in 2010. We already documented what happened to the 38. We'll tell you more about that when we get a moment.
Yeah, he ended up 3 laps down. Kasey Kahne did, making that green flag stop.
Of course, the last time we saw Kasey in the 38 back at Bristol, he was up on his side on that deal.
I don't think Kevin Harvick's going to be alone up there on the lead lap. I think maybe Josh Wise, as I look down, Justin Allgaier, even Jason Leffler may be in that same situation of not having tires. I believe Leffler may have stayed out there, though, but it's definitely going to be a bad break for Harvick in trying to win this race.
And it looks like Ricky Stenhouse will get the lucky dog, so that'll give us 13 cars again. As there you saw climbing out Reed Sorensen, so that's the best news out of that, because that was a hard hit, nose first. And it looks like Harvick's guys are set up.
Well, they've got something to put on. I don't know if they'll be stickers or not, but they'll put something on.
Jamie McMurray's crew as well. Remember, he was worried about the vibration, but it didn't seem to affect him as he maintained the lead. Now, Brad Keselowski has decided to stay out. Let's go to Doc.
4,000 RPMs, 45 miles an hour for Kyle Busch. Said, I'm loose in and tied off. Very frustrated. He said, I cannot run the top of the racetrack. They're going back in with a half a round in that lifter they'd taken out earlier and an air pressure adjustment. Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick says he can't run the bottom of the racetrack now. Little bit of an air pressure adjustment. He needs more rear grip. The final 4 tires in the pit box, Dave.
McMurray said the thing shook like crazy for 10 laps and then stopped. So they're going to change the 4 tires. He will maintain his second place position, and they put fuel in it for that balance of the weight in the race car.
So as we mentioned, as you see everybody coming off pit road, with Justin Allgaier the last one, he's in 12th position right now. And a great pit stop for Kyle Busch. Remember, they did not have such a good stop the one prior. Stay with us. We'll reset the field for you when we come back. Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver, enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus, and other great prizes. All right, let's take a look at Brad Keselowski. You know, he's got 10 Nationwide Series wins. Now, he stayed out, but none of them have been on 1.5-mile tracks. Let's listen to the strategy.
We're on a different strategy. We weren't going to win doing the same thing they did. So, you know, however it works out, this is our taking a shot to win this thing. I'm good with it. 10-4. That's what we're going to have to do. I don't know. I feel confident we'll get no yellow. We'll see. If we don't, the worst we're going to finish is 12.
Oh, that's great. I think this is a great gamble because they did not have a winning car. The worst they're going to finish, like he says, 12th. That's how many cars are on lead lap. We're 13 now.
He and Keselowski and Wise stayed out. They're on the front row. But don't forget, Brad's favorite buddy, closest personal friend, Christmas coming along soon, Kyle Busch, is going to be right behind him as we go back to green flag racing. There he is in the 18. And look at McMurray sliding in between. Here comes Busch on the low side. And, boy, fresh tires are really critical.
Oh, yeah, Keselowski's going to get out of the way or try to get out of the way of these cars that have tires.
Yeah, that'd be their biggest problem, not getting run over right here in this particular. Jamie McMurray thought if he could get out front, he might could get Kyle Busch trapped back there and get a little distance put in between him and Kyle. Well, that didn't happen.
If anybody was worried about Keselowski and Kyle getting together, they can forget it because Brad is going back like a rock.
You see Harvick got loose. Carl Edwards got right on his rear bumper in turn 3.
Keselowski just moved out of the way and said, okay, you go ahead, boys. I'll come back and see you later if we get another caution.
There you see him sliding back. In fact, he's now shown in 10th position. It's McMurray up front, Kyle Busch, then Edwards, Harvick, Kenseth, Logano. That's your top 6 heading down the backstretch.
Never seen so many spark slider cars going in the corner.
Well, once again, they're running their fastest laps. They've got more downforce on them right now.
Give you a quick update. The 32, Reed Sorensen, he has been released from the infield care center, and that's good news. And here comes Kyle.
Yeah, made a great run off of turn 4 right there.
Remember, Kyle has never won here at Atlanta. Neither has Joe Gibbs Racing.
And they're not out of the throttle hardly at all right there. You hear McMurray just barely crack it.
And, of course, I mean the Nationwide Series. They have one, of course, in Cup.
I was talking to Jamie McMurray saying tonight, do you think on new tires you can run wide open around here? He said some of these guys might. He said, I don't think I can, but they may.
Ryan
really
Newman
stretched it the last lap.
Menard, look at Leffler in this mix as well. He's running in 9th. At one point in this race, he was a lap down. Whoa, got awfully close to touching with the 98 of Menard. There's Casey Kane back out. Remember, Kane now is 3 laps down after having that tire rub.
That's all I had. It's burned up. Done.
Was that Kyle on the radio?
I believe it was. I mean, he made a big run at him and just didn't get it done. And you can see now McMurray able to stretch it back out a little bit.
Yeah, he was really hoping while he had his tires fresh that he had enough to get to his rear bumper, maybe loosen him up or try to get in front to take some of that arrow away from him. But Jamie's kind of stretched things out.
Well, if Jamie holds on to this, we'll be going back to that last restart because that slick little move is what got him this first place.
Well, Kyle kind of got trapped in behind, I believe it was Josh Wise.
Now there you could see the
Carl Edwards coming, trying to get up there to battle Kyle Busch for that second spot.
Well, I'll tell you what, McMurray has opened up a 0.6 of a second lead, and he is 0.2 of a second quicker than Kyle on that last lap. And Carl Edwards was 0.2 of a second quicker than Kyle Busch. So you're right, the 60 is trying to come.
Yeah, Andy was right. Jamie was just in the right spot at the right time. His line kind of went because Brad Keselowski was the leader. He took off, got ahead. The 18 got trapped behind Josh Wise, and that got Jamie a little bit of breathing room. But he did have Kyle right on his bumper, and he's been able to stretch it out since then.
We mentioned before when the caution came out that it was bad news for Harvick. He has slipped back in 4th position, 2.5 seconds back. And remember, the leader on the restart, Brad Keselowski, he has dropped to 11th, now 9.2 seconds behind.
Well, it's a big gamble. I mean, he's gambling on getting a caution here in the next 15 laps or so, and then he'll be able to come back on and pass these guys back.
Now, watch McMurray on this restart.
Well, you can see that's where Brad took off, so that got Jamie the opportunity to get right there, and then just enough space to cut down inside. Kyle was having to kind of feather the throttle a little bit before he could get past the start-finish line. Lost a little bit of time, but there again, Kyle was able to run up to the bumper, and now Jamie stretched it out to almost a second lead.
Well, we can tell you that Kyle Busch has clinched most laps led for the 9th time in 2010, and he has not lost this season after leading the most laps. But right now, he's got to make up a full second to get back into the lead.
Plowing his brains off. Why do we always get cute? Why do we always get cute? Stupid.
Why do we always get cute? What do you think he's referring to?
It must have been some kind of adjustment, whether it was tire pressure or something that they tried there, and it obviously is not to Kyle's liking right now.
Well, next time by, there'll be 14 laps to go, and you can see the difference right there. Doc, what are you hearing down on pit road?
There was a discussion before that last pit stop. Kyle said, look, I'm loose loose in and tied off. I can't run the top side. And he asked Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief on the right side, said, try to fix it. Try to fix my loose in and tied off. Jason said, I'm going to put a half a round back in of what we took out of that left rear, and I'll try to help you with some air pressure in the rear to help the grip level. When he did that, I think now that he's got too much grip back there and the car is tight. Now, you heard the comment a moment ago from Kyle. What you didn't hear was Jason said, look, if we get a caution flag and we can close up and get clean air on the nose, you will beat him. You will beat Jamie McMurray. I believe that will happen. Just hang on. And right now, Kyle said, I can't even hang with it.
Yeah, I think that car's really tight. You can see Kyle having to get all the way down, literally his left front tire down below the yellow line there, trying to get that car to rotate through the center of the corner. So that tells me his car's really tight right now.
Let's get an update on Jamie McMurray, who's got a full second lead, Dave.
Marty, a couple reasons why McMurray should win this race. First of all, the car is a former winner. As I don't know, Kyle still looks pretty racy back there, but the car was campaigned by Brad Keselowski last year to a win at Michigan in August. Also, Jamie's a pleasure to work with. These guys love working with Jamie McMurray, and that's good karma. Oh, one more thing. The first time he ever won in the Nationwide Series was right here. It was back in 2002, October. Jamie's got some good feelings about Atlanta.
Well, the lead is now down to 0.8 of a second, as we'll have 11 laps to go next time by.
Kyle Busch is driving the wheels off of this thing. You just see him. He just has the wheels moving, doing everything that he can, but that car's just so tight. And how much has Jamie McMurray's stock gone up this year? Won the Daytona 500, Brickyard 400, gets in this car that hasn't won. Now looks like he may be on his way, even though he's got some lap traffic to encounter here.
And don't forget, he's got 2 more chances to make the chase. He's 100 points behind. That 12th and final spot. We'll find out what happens tomorrow night on ESPN. He gets past the 70 of Mark Green safely. Now Eric McClure will take him on the high side.
Yeah, that really wasn't what he was hoping. He was hoping he could go to the bottom there. That probably cost him just a little momentum. But you can see he's still got a nice lead.
McClure is 30th, 6 laps down. Green was 11 laps down in 32nd. And you see him go by the 28 as well as Kenny Wallace. Kenny is 4 laps down in 25th.
Yeah, and they're even going through those 4-lap cars on that one lap. He only lost 2/100ths of a second to Kyle Busch.
Now he's got clean air again, and it's just a battle between the two of them. Kyle, getting a little loose.
Like that tight condition's going away a little bit.
Well, I think it's because he's probably going down in there and really jerking the wheel some to try to get this car turned where he can stay in the throttle.
Next time by, there'll be 8 laps remaining, and the lead has remained constant at about 0.8 of a second. Here comes Carl Edwards again, sneaking back into the picture in 3rd.
Keselowski's gamble is kind of going away on him with only 9 to go. If he doesn't get a caution here in the next few laps, he won't have enough laps to do anything with his tire.
That's what happens when you have a big points lead. You can try to take a gamble like that and just see if you could maybe, have things go your way.
As we mentioned, Carl is closing on Kyle. You can see the gap right there. We're on board with the 18.
Carl's moved up to that higher side and trying to make that work, seeing if he can get some momentum going and maybe overtake Kyle. You can see Kyle's pretty much committed to the bottom side in this run.
That's Brad Baker they're going around. Baker's 26th right now, 5 laps down. Got 4-lap traffic in front of Kyle Busch. And right now the lead is 0.9 of a second as he has to maneuver around the 26 of Brian Keselowski, who had a birthday last Thursday. Carl Edwards clears him as well.
See, things have kind of just stabilized here between the 3 cars. They'll beat each other by 1/10 or so. A lot of that is just depending on where they might catch the lap traffic they encounter.
Well, like Wade said, we may be looking back at that last restart as the defining moment of this race. And it was great for Jamie McMurray and not so great for Kyle Busch. He could not find a way to get around Josh Wise.
Yeah, because if Kyle Busch could have gotten up front, got some clean air, he had the setup, just like Jason Ratcliffe said. He said, if you got clean air on the nose, we've got the setup we need.
There's Josh as he is in 11th position. He has just moved Brad Keselowski back to 12th. We only have 13 cars on the lead lap. In fact, Justin Allgaier is the last car in 13th.
Josh Wise has had another solid night. We talked about his qualifying effort. We talked about the 6 times
5 to go.
in this car. He had an average finish of 13.5. He's going to improve on that a little bit tonight, so he's really done a nice job.
And everything is sort of calmed down where we thought we might have some late race dramatics. There you can see Jamie McMurray a little loose there, but still an 0.8 of a second lead. We've had a total of 5 leaders with 9 different lead changes. And Kyle Busch may have led the most laps tonight, but that streak may be broken.
I'm going to tell you, Kyle Busch is going to keep Jamie McMurray honest. He's going to make him make good laps every single lap here to the end. And if he makes a mistake or bobbles, Kyle's going to be right there.
Yeah, they ran the exact same down to the 1,000th of a second the last time. Kyle beat him by just about 8/100ths this past time. But that was because Jamie got a little bit loose and hit one of those seams. And when you hit that, it's just like you've hit ice for just a split second.
On that last wide shot, you saw Trevor Bayne take it down pit road. He's 3 laps down in 19th position. And as we continue to watch the closing laps here, there's your top 3. And as you can see, the interval now 0.7 of a second. So he has finally started to narrow it a little bit, but there's only going to be 3 laps to go.
Yeah, this when Kyle wished this was a 200-lap race at 300 miles, but this racetrack's just over 1.5 miles in the way that it's measured, so it's 195.
Down to 0.6 of a second, as you can see. Can he pull this off?
Yeah, and there's a little draft effect coming in right now. As he gets this close, he can get a little bit of a pull here. That may help him.
Coming by the stripe next time, there'll be 2 laps remaining.
2 to go. He's
Kyle Busch is in the gas, guys.
It's down to 0.5 second. Now 0.4 of a second. And here comes Kyle.
I tell you, Kyle's not going to let him breathe. He's going to make him run this car as hard as he can go.
Still at 0.4 of a second. Will lap traffic play a factor? That's John West Townley that he's approaching now.
It's going to depend on where well, he's going to give him the inside, and McMurray likes that idea. If he'd had to go around him on the high side and Kyle would have been able to stay on the bottom, that could have made a huge difference, but don't think he's going to get there now.
White flag, Jamie, white flag. Bring it home.
1.5 miles to go for Jamie McMurray. Kyle Busch trying all he can, but I just don't think there's going to be enough time for him to pull it off. It'll be the first time this year where he's led the most laps, and he won't win. But for Jamie McMurray, he has given this 88 car one heck of a ride tonight. He wasn't always the key player up front, but he was always right there waiting for somebody else and his opportunity, and he got it. And McMurray, as he is holding on, coming down, will get his 8th nationwide win here at Atlanta. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, 2nd and 3rd.
10-4. For the winner, right?
Matt
Yeah,
took a great run up to 5th.
Great job, guys.
That's it, right? Yeah, I did win.
Good job.
I don't think he was watching. I think he had his eyes in the mirror.
Oh, I promise you he did. Yeah.
His last win was Darlington back in November of 2004 in the series. There's Pops. He's got to be a happy guy. A great run for Jamie McMurray, and let's send it to Jamie Little.
Very happy up here, Pops. It has been an up and down year for this team. What did it take to finally get it done tonight?
Well, you know, Jamie's done a good job for us all year long. And thanks to Hellman's and GT Vodka and everybody that's helped us all year to, you know, to put up with what we had going on. We kind of made a mistake over the winter, and, you know, Jamie's kind of bailed us out of that. So, yeah, we're just happy. I got to thank Hendrick Engine Shop. We've been beating on them pretty hard, and they gave us a new package tonight, and they won the race. So, you know, we knew we still had good cars. We knew we could run up front, and they pulled us through tonight. So, thanks to Hendrick Engines.
And Pops has tears in his eyes. I'll let him go down and celebrate with Jamie McMurray. Marty.
And Jamie got his first nationwide win here at Atlanta, and he now picks up his 8th. It's the 6th different nationwide team that McMurray has won with in the series in 6 different car numbers. Can you say versatile?
I'm telling you, he's had an incredible season.
Yeah, and you have to be really happy for him. He's a hard-working young man, keeps himself in great shape, and really works at this extremely hard.
Well, he does one other thing. He keeps Kyle Busch winless here at Atlanta in the Nationwide Series and Joe Gibbs Racing. So they'll have to wait till next year for their next chance. Stay with us. We'll talk to him. Back here at Atlanta, where Jamie McMurray has become the 12th different winner here in 2010 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and he's made his way to victory lane. Dave, it's all yours.
Jamie McMurray in victory lane again in 2010, this time in the Nationwide Series. Did you see this one coming?
Well, I knew we unloaded today and had pretty much the fastest car right off the truck. It was just really loose, and they did a really good job adjusting on it. And in the race, it seemed to be good on long runs, but not on short runs. And then at the end, Pops adjusted on it, and it was pretty fast even on the short go.
And at one point, you thought the wheels were going to fall off the front.
Well, I don't know if we had a wheel weight off or what was going on there, but the front end was just shaking real bad, and we had a really fast pit stop that time, and I wasn't sure, you know, if we'd left the wheel weight off. But really good day for Hellman's Mayonnaise. Dale Jr. gave me a great opportunity to drive this car along with Chevrolet, so it's good. It's so cool to win one of these races, and then, you know, it makes you feel good going into tomorrow. And really good group of fans tonight. I was shocked, and I'm assuming it's because I beat Kyle, but I was shocked at having to cheer when I drove around. So that was cool. I wish Christy was here. I know she's at home watching.
Now tell me about Kyle putting the pressure on you there at the end, because you couldn't make a mistake.
Yeah, it was really strange. I mean, there was times in the race that I didn't feel like I drove very hard. My car was really fast, and then at the end, I kind of had that situation. Like I was driving hard, but it seemed like the harder I drove this, I wasn't going quicker. So just drove like 95%, and I just had the best car tonight.
And now you realize you've won a couple of big races in the Cup Series this year, and now you've kind of won for an owner that's sort of popular in the sport. So it's another big win for you.
Yeah, it's cool to have Dale Jr. come on and say congratulations. And it's really special for all these guys. They've had a lot going on this year, and it means a lot to all of us. So for sure.
And I got to ask you, does this lead you to tomorrow? Is there momentum here, Jamie, that you can take to putting yourself closer to the chase tomorrow?
Well, I won't say that I'm not worried about it, but there's not a lot I can do about it. You just go out and you do your best, and we didn't have the best car today, so we'll change a lot of stuff on our McDonald's car tomorrow. And I know Bono's back in his bus watching right now, and I can go tell him that I won't be the problem tomorrow now. So I'm just kidding.
Not a problem tonight for Jamie McMurray. Fast race car, great race for the 88 and McMurray. Marty?
And it's the 9th Nationwide Series win for Junior Motorsports. It's the 4th different driver to win a nationwide race for the team. And we'll talk to Kyle Busch when we come back.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta is brought to you by Kingsford. For more football fun, play Kingsford's College Showdown on ESPN.com. And Nationwide Insurance. Enter this code at codespotter.com for a chance to win a Roush Ford Mustang.
What a beautiful view in the nighttime here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Jamie McMurray has won tonight's race under the lights. And there's the trophy presentation and the flash bulbs. And the celebration will continue here at the Great Clips 300. And the guy who was looking to break the spell of winless efforts at Atlanta is going to have to wait one more year. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Kyle, you had a great car for most of the race, and that final pit stop and final restart sort of hurt you.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I had a fast NOS Energy Drink Camry tonight. Real proud of the guys, and gave me a good enough car to try to win, but come up short.
You were running laps faster than McMurray the final 5 or 6 laps, and our guys in the booth said if it's a 200-lap race and not 195, you'll probably win this thing.
It's only 195 tonight, Jerry, so, you know, if it was Charlotte, maybe.
You were talking to the crew chief, and they were talking about trying to help the car. You were loose in and tied off and couldn't run the top of the racetrack, and Jason made a little air pressure adjustment on the car, trying to take maybe that adjustment back out of the left rear, and I guess the car just got tight late.
Yeah, we were fighting tight all night, but you know, just got too tight to really try to hustle it on a restart. You know, I'd blow the right front tire off it in 2 laps, but you know, we didn't put any gas in it, trying to be cute too, and you know, that always hurts. I did that 2 years ago at the All-Star race, and went from leading all the way back to knocking the wall down and finishing 10th. So it doesn't ever work for me, and maybe one of these days we'll figure that out.
But a great run by Kyle brings him home in 2nd spot.
And we mentioned he led the most laps, 74 of them. It's the first time this year where he's led the most laps but has not won the race. As we look down through the top 10, the one guy that jumps out at us is Jason Leffler. Comes home as the leading nationwide regular in 7th place. And he was driving that 10 car. Maybe he should stay in that car because he's had better results in that than in the 38. Stay with us.
The opener of our NASCAR Labor Day weekend twin bill at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in the books. Jamie McMurray celebrating a win in victory lane. Had a good starting spot, had a good car. Wasn't on the lips of a lot of people as a pre-race favorite.
Yeah, but once he got that lead, we were sitting down here talking. I said, you know what? There's nobody else better at holding on and driving their brains out and closing the deal than Jamie McMurray. You saw the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400, all these big races that Jamie won. And guys, when he gets out front, he is bad news.
Well, I tell you, he's had just a remarkable season in the Cup Series as well as the nationwide win tonight. He's done a great job for Junior Motorsports. But Kevin Harvick, I thought, was the man. I thought it would recycle and put himself back up front, an opportunity to win this race, because he was gone for the most part of this race. But, hey, worked out. Jamie McMurray got a win. And where did Matt Kenseth come from?
Pretty far back in the starting field, actually, to get a top 5 finish for Kenseth. Now, Brad Keselowski, remember his team gambled on the last caution, didn't stop for tires. He wound up finishing in 12th position, but with 9 races to go, still has a very sizable lead over Carl Edwards in the Nationwide Series Championship. Let's hear from Keselowski tonight about the gamble that didn't work out, Mike.
Catching up now with the championship leader, Brad Keselowski. 12th place tonight. I know you were expecting a lot more. How would you assess the evening?
Well, we probably had a 4th or 5th place car. Rolled the dice to win because we want to win. You know, we know we got a real good shot of winning the driver's title, and it's looking really good. And so we're just really going for wins and doing all we can to do that. And just banked a set of tires by staying out on that last yellow. We were really prepared for another yellow to come out and just didn't catch it. So just didn't catch the brakes tonight that we needed to get a solid finish or to win the race, but put ourselves in position, and sometimes that's the way it goes. But you know, real proud of the effort of the Discount Tire Dodge and everyone at Penske Racing, and glad to see the 88 team in victory lane. You know, that's my team from last year, and they really deserve it.
Talk about that gamble. It seemed to be the deciding factor in your evening. What was the thought process there? Take me through it.
Well, I mean, every race we run, you usually get another yellow. And, you know, we were banking on getting a yellow in the next 10 to 15 laps or a green, white, checkered. And really felt like with 25 laps and everybody else's tires that we could drive through and maybe not get to the lead, but at least to the first 3, and just didn't get the yellow.
Well, guys, with a healthy point advantage like Brad Keselowski has, you really can't blame him for rolling the dice, going for the win.
All right, Carl Edwards talking to some fans here sitting on pit wall, and Carl started 5th, finished 3rd. Carl, looked like you were moving in a little bit on Kyle Busch there late.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have something for him. We had a lot of folks here from Fastenal and Copart, and I thought there for a second we had a little glimmer of hope that we could win this race. But as I'd get closer, you had to run a specific line. I had to go fast, and as I get closer, the air would get dirty, and I'd slide out of that line a little bit, and then it's like, it takes 5 more laps to get them back, so it was frustrating. I wish I had another 20 or 30 laps to work on them, but it's like a big dirt track out there. It's really fun tonight, and I'm proud of my guys. They did a good job.
Show us what you mean by elbows up. I mean, are elbows up? I mean, said the reason you're so good, are you driving with a dirt track mentality with the elbows up? What are we doing here?
Well, you gotta get a little room. You gotta get your shoulders limbered up and get those elbows out. It's like Jack Hewitt, you know. You gotta have some room in there to work. We had to change the seat. We tried one of those carbon seats, and I couldn't get my elbows up high enough. So I guess that's just the way I drive. But it's fun. It's fun to do that, and it's neat to be able to race this fast, that style of racing, and that aggressively.
Hey, good run tonight.
Thanks.
Carl Edwards, guys.
I am so afraid to ask these two about elbows up because I have a feeling I'm going to be disappearing over to that side of the room. You know, were you much on that?
No, you didn't have to worry about me. No, I'm apparently not nearly as talented and couldn't drive dirt anyway, so mine were a lot closer to me, so I had a little different style than Carl. That works great for him, but no, that wasn't my way of going about it.
Well, the comment that I heard was more, you know, this track drives like a dirt track.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, we saw Casey Kane. I mean, his car was completely out of control early in this race, and he was leading. I don't know how these guys do it. I mean, running this fast, and you know, I guess they got to get those elbows up so they can catch that car when it's getting sideways, but it's pretty neat to watch.
Well, the guy with the biggest elbows is Brad Daugherty. What about it?
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine him? Come on, show us, big guy.
There you go, baby.
Yeah. If I understand the origin of that elbows up term, it's from a sprint car where the steering wheel is laid flat in the car, and so to turn it through the corners, you got your elbows out, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And so driving this track like a dirt track for 300 miles, Imagine these guys that have to drive this place like a dirt track for 500 miles in the Sprint Cup race tomorrow night.
Well, one key thing you just said, Alan, it looks like it's driving like a dirt track. The track was really slippery out there. I mean, you saw them slipping and slide, running on the bottom of the track, running on the top. But I can relate to the elbows up thing. People used to say, Russ, you always sit up so straight in the wheel, you know, and some guys had the wheel real close to them. I remember DJ had that wheel close to him so he could really muscle that baby. So all the drivers have different techniques like they like to use, and some of them, when it gets right down to it, they got to muscle that baby, and that's where elbows up, little tension comes in.
Elbows up in there digging. But let's remember now tomorrow, guys, as well. This track showed to be very, very temperamental as we got late into the race. Kyle Busch can attest to that. He would have won this race. They made a small adjustment, trying to give him a little bit of an advantage, and the track took it away from him. So it'll be interesting tomorrow as the sun goes down, the grip comes up. Who makes the right adjustments?
Another sleepless night for the crew chiefs, worrying about how to interpret what they learned tonight for the race on Sunday night. A guy who knows a lot about elbows up, Ryan Newman, comes from an open-wheel background. Had a good finish tonight. Newman wound up in 8th place, had an incident with Trevor Bayne midway through the race that we also want to talk about. Jamie, what's Ryan have to say?
And Ryan Newman had an eventful night tonight. You bring it home 8th, Ryan. So we saw you on camera quite a bit, but the biggest moment was you and Trevor Bayne. What happened between you two?
Got in the back of him coming off turn 2. He moved up in front of me. I had a momentum and got in the back of him, so it was unfortunate. But it was a decent night for us with the Phoenix Racing Chevrolet, and struggled in the pits a little bit. But felt like we had maybe a 5th to 6th place car. I don't think we were an 8th place car, but just bad luck in the pits there a couple times, and trying to fight through that.
You're really helping this team a lot. Of course, they don't have a big sponsor. You have your book on the car right now. What do you feel about this team moving forward? I mean, you guys are really working together, it seems.
Yeah, we're going to Richmond and Dover, and we'll have El Monterey on the car in California. So we've got some more races planned, but just trying to have some fun and race. I mean, it's a blast racing these cars in this series, and thank the fans for their support and then coming out to the race tonight.
All right, we'll see Ryan Newman back in the car next week.
All right, Jamie, thanks. And another driver who had a decent night tonight that he would like to have been better was Justin Allgaier. Allgaier is going to wind up this night in 13th place and hang on to 4th in the Nationwide Series championship standings. Let's hear from Allgaier with Mike.
Justin Allgaier brought the 12 car home 13th tonight, and it certainly seemed like it was a full night's work for you. How would you describe it?
Oh, it was definitely a full night's work. The Verizon Dodge guys did a great job all night long. From where I was sitting, I hope the fans got a great view, because this Nationwide Series is awesome. I got to thank them for all that they do for the sport, for sure. But, for us, we came in here, we didn't practice well, we didn't qualify well, and so we raced a lot better than we finished. Like I told you, it's 12B, right? Not 13th, but really looking forward to next week, going to Richmond with the Verizon Challenger. I feel like that's going to be a strong point for us, but this weekend was great. All in all, great job by the pit crew. They did an awesome job, and what do you say?
What did you need tonight to be a little bit more successful?
Grip. That was one of the things we fought all night. It seemed like the tires were really hard, but they held together, which is something that we haven't, we struggled with here in the past at Atlanta. So good job to Goodyear for that, and keeping the tires together and having a good tire. Unfortunately, we just struggled for grip, and it kind of threw us for a loop. So I don't really know why. It was one of those things that there were some points in the race where the car was really good, and others where it just didn't take off at all. So it was frustrating, but then at the end of the race, we actually rubbed a hole in the header. And at first, I thought we were actually losing the engine. The way that it sounded and the way that it lost horsepower, I thought we were losing an engine. But the Penske engine shop, as usual, is on par, and the engine ran great. We just got the car a little too low and rubbed a hole in the exhaust.
A frustrating night for Justin Allgaier, but on the bright side, looking at the big picture, he's still the highest-ranking nationwide-only driver.
All right, Michael, thank you. Decent run again for Justin Allgaier tonight. Reminder, college football coming up top of the hour. Next week, it's on to Richmond, the new car, back on track for the Nationwide Series. And at the start of this race tonight, we talked about Roush Fenway Racing being kings of Atlanta in this series, right? 5 wins. Next highest team owner only had 2. Carl Edwards wound up 3rd. Matt Kenseth, not really visible much of the night, but he wound up with a top 5.
Yeah, Matt ran great tonight, and he finished 5th. That new crew chief, he's got Ricky Vires. Ricky was over in the 27 car with Greg Biffle early in the year and moved over to that 16 team. He looks great out there. I mean, both the guys really gelled together. I was really impressed how Ricky Vires and Matt Kenseth used their strategy and raced hard today. So a good solid run out of that car. It's had many drivers in it. Colin Brown's been in it amongst other drivers, but pretty strong.
Very typical Matt Kenseth-like day.
Yeah.
Just kind of starts in the back and is there and works his way methodically up through the field to get a great finish. And you're wrong. We did notice him throughout the day because that race car kept striking the racetrack. You know, as we kept thinking as the air pressures were going to come up, that thing would quit throwing sparks, but he kept striking the chassis all night long. Don't know what was going on with that, but great job by Ricky Byers and Matt Kenseth to get that car home fifth.
You know how intimidating it is to have that big finger come across the table? You're wrong. Doc, bail me out. Let's hear from Matt.
Matt Kenseth coming back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series on a Saturday night at Atlanta. How was your night?
It was pretty good. I had a lot of fun tonight. It was fun to get back in the 16 car. It was cool that World Financial Group came back and got on a Roush car and gave him a decent ride tonight. So I would have liked to have a little more time in practice, maybe another set of tires, some more time to work with Rick. It was my first time working with him. But overall, it was a great night for us.
Matt Kenseth brings it home with a top 10 finish.
So our post-race coverage continues from here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Again, college football coming up top of the hour, and 500 miles for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on Sunday night. ESPN in prime time. Jamie McMurray will be in that field looking to make it a weekend sweep after his victory in the 300-mile race tonight, driving Dale Jr.'s number 88 car.
I'm Wendy Nix here in our college football studios. Coming up at the top of the hour, Zach Caleros and the Cincinnati Bearcats getting set with their new head coach, Butch Jones, to take on Fresno State. And that's coming up at 10 o'clock here on ESPN2. Right now, though, back to Atlanta.
All right, thanks. And while we're talking college football, remind you that Monday night, an important game, season-defining game, you could say, for two top 10 teams. Kellen Moore and the third-ranked Broncos of Boise State take on Virginia Tech's Hokies, led by Ryan Williams, in the All-State kickoff in the Capitol. It's part of Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week on ESPN. That's Monday at 8 Eastern. College football available on TV, online, and on your phone. Go to ESPN.com for more information. Look forward to seeing that one on Monday night.
Great game.
Here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we show you this beautiful racetrack all lit up on a wonderful summer night from the Goodyear blimp. Go to Goodyear.com and show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear is the official tire of NASCAR. Simply splendid Labor Day weekend weather here in Atlanta. The same forecast for tomorrow night's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. And a reminder that we are on the air at 7 Eastern time for that one tomorrow night. While Jamie McMurray continues the ritual of posing with the hats and the trophies, one that he and any other drivers more than happy to do after winning a race. Why don't we hear from some more of the drivers who had good finishes tonight and wound up with results that were decent, but maybe not as good as they wanted. Jamie's got Kevin Harvick.
And Kevin Harvick brings it home for us. So, Kevin, I have to ask you, first of all, how exciting. You got off pit sequence, you restarted 14th, and you took the lead 9 laps later. How much fun was that race?
It was a lot of fun. There was, 4 or 5 of us that were very competitive to leading laps and changing the lead, and then we had strategy come into play. So everybody on our Ream Chevrolet, Ernie and all the guys did a great job. They had a good night in the pits, and if the strategy works out, and at one point I think we had 2 laps on the whole field, so you get a caution at the right time, everything would have been perfect. But got a little bit too tight at the end, kind of made a gamble adjustment there at the end to try to do something different, and got a little tight. But all in all, it was a good competitive night, and that's all you can ask for is to be in contention.
Another race tomorrow. You guys are already clinched, locked in the chase. How do you look at tomorrow's race?
We've had a rough day today as far as getting our car to where it needs to be. It was good in race trim. So based upon tonight, I think we need to make a few more adjustments to our car to get it to where it needs to be after the sun goes down. So I got a little bit of work to do, but not terribly bad. And I think this is definitely a unique racetrack that doesn't really apply to anything in the chase, but you still want to run good.
All right, a little bit of fun today, a little bit of work tomorrow.
Jamie, thanks. Kevin Harvick led about a quarter of this race tonight and again wound up finishing 4th. Harvick starts back in 29th position for the NASCAR Sprint Cup race on Sunday. Joey Logano, 6th place finish tonight. And again, another one of those Gibbs guys that we normally see up front on the mile-and-a-half tracks, and we didn't tonight for Logano.
Well, you heard what Kevin just said, a unique racetrack. And I will tell you guys, I mean, this particular racetrack, the setup of this track is way different than most tracks we've run on. You talk to all the crew chiefs and a lot of the drivers, and you go, no, this place is really fast. And Alan, you talked about speed early in the broadcast, but it's different. It's not like Charlotte. It's not like Texas. It's one of its own, which requires a kind of a weird setup. And I think that's what Kevin's referring to. And I think that's why you didn't see the Gibbs guys up there in the front dominating like you always see.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. The uniqueness of this place really did put a little bit of a damper on Joey Logano's night. If you think about it, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano have won 10 out of the last 12 mile-and-a-half races on the mile-and-a-half racetrack. So Joey wasn't a big factor like I thought he would be tonight, but got a decent finish, and obviously Kyle ran very well. But, yeah, put a little bit of a dampener on him because of the uniqueness of this place.
Let's hear from Logano. He's with Dave.
Well, Joey's back here signing autographs for the fans, and we're missing the hat for the interview because you just gave it away.
Someone asked for it. I didn't have the heart to say no, so now I got a little helmet head for the interview.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. But after a 6th place finish, that's okay, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was just a long night for us with the old GameStop Toyota. We just unloaded not too good and just fought tight all night. You know, just felt like it fixed it a little bit here, and we get better in the long run. But we just take off bad, and it's something we've been fighting the last few races for some reason. So I don't know what it is, but you know, it might be me. It might be what we're doing to the car, the way we're setting it up. But it seems like once we get 15 laps under our belts, we're as good as the leaders. We just give up way too much track position to start. So I just need to figure out what we're doing there wrong, and I think we'll be right back to where we used to be. But you know, this is Atlanta, and we know it's gonna when we come in here. That's one of my tougher racetracks, and it's gonna be a tough one. So we came out here 6th. It's the same place we finished last year. So sadly, we didn't improve actually.
All right. Well, they'll go back to work on it, and I think there's some more people that need autographs here. So Joey will go back to that.
There you go. Great to see. And again, Joey Logano finishing 6th tonight here in Atlanta. So 9 races to go in the NASCAR Nationwide Series season. Mentioned Richmond next week. That's a Friday night race. The new car for its 4th and final time this season.
Man, I love
you can join us on air for that, or join us at the racetrack or any of those upcoming events. Go to NASCAR.com/tickets or call the number bottom of the screen if you'd like to join us at the track for the remainder of the 2010 NASCAR Nationwide Series season. So with the Nationwide Series action wrapped up for tonight in Atlanta, we turn our attention to tomorrow night's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. We bring in the boys in the booth as well. Let's start upstairs. Denny Hamlin on the pole. Kyle Busch qualified well. Carl Edwards qualified well. And then, of course, there's the bubble spots as well. Guys, what do you think?
Well, obviously, I think a lot of attention is going to be on that battle for 12th. I mean, for all realistic purposes, the top 11 are pretty much secure unless they totally fall off the face of the earth in the last 2 races. But I'm wondering, is tomorrow night going to be a strategic race like tonight was?
Oh, I think you'll definitely see some of that, but I think most of they have unlimited tires, so that kind of throws that out a little bit. They can put on tires every 10 laps if they need to, if cautions fall that way. But I think what's going to be interesting to see if some of these guys can get a little bit of momentum heading into the chase, even though, yeah, they've got some positions wrapped up. Clint Boyer and Mark Martin and Jamie McMurray, those guys are obviously in a battle to try to get that final 12th spot. But some other people need some momentum. Denny Hamlin on the pole, you know, he's got those 5 wins, but he would like to have the lead going into the chase. Jimmy Johnson, they need to do some good things tomorrow night, Andy.
Well, they do, and they haven't done a lot of good things on mile-and-a-half tracks. But you're talking about momentum. I'm looking at that 12th spot still. I mean, you look at Clint Boyer. We didn't see him anywhere tonight at all. He finished a lap down. We didn't hardly see him. He's carrying negative momentum into tomorrow. Jamie McMurray, he's 13th in points. He's taking that win into tomorrow. So I see a lot of momentum shifts right there when we talk about that.
What do you guys think downstairs?
Yeah, Rusty's furiously scribbling notes here next to me as we think about tomorrow night's race. Go ahead, have at it.
Well, I'm looking at what's going on, and I keep going back to what Kevin Harvick said about this particular track. And I know as a past driver and how this place felt, I'm in the feeling that this particular race tomorrow could actually be a game changer. I really believe that. It's such a different type of track for setup. And like I said earlier, it's not the same as Charlotte and Texas. Drive's completely different. And this might really screw up a lot of the guys that's got some momentum tomorrow night.
Well, I tell you what, if I'm Clint Boyer, I'm getting me a warm glass of milk so I can get me a good night's rest, because I tell you what, Jamie McMurray is coming with his lunch pail packed, and he could put a lot of – he's had a remarkable year. He could upset that 12th position tomorrow by winning this race. Not a good finish, but by winning this race.
Interesting, they all start fairly close together. Boyer starts 14th, McMurray starts 12th, Mark Martin starts in 17th. Of course, while we focus on the transfer spot, also focusing on the race for those bonus points, the momentum like DJ talked about, and the win. We'll set the race up with our race day morning show. NASCAR Now presented by 5 Hour Energy, 9 a.m. Eastern Time to get you ready for the Atlanta race. Then, the biggest event in drag racing this weekend. NHRA Mac Tools U.S. Nationals presented by Lucas Oil. Qualifying is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern and 5 Eastern on ESPN2. And the finals Monday, 1 Eastern, ESPN2. Of course, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race, our coverage presented by Pennzoil. That's tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Preceded by NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern. Then it's on to Richmond for the Nationwide Series and the new car starting at 7 Eastern Time. That's next week. College football is next. Congratulations to Jamie McMurray, the Saturday night winner in Hotlanta.